from the fertile soil of the heartland is the skyline of Kansas City. High rises in civilized power and success. Today it's horsepower that will bring success to one of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series drivers. Last year's title contenders Ron Hornaday and Matt Crafton are again battling, but this time it's to overcome a poor start to the season. Todd Bodine continues to search for that first win of 2010, while Eric Almirola is closing in on his first career victory. And Timothy Peters has the lead and momentum, but the schedule's making it tough to maintain. Just the fifth race of the 2010 campaign, and we come to Kansas Speedway. Welcome to the setup, presented by Polaris. Hello everyone, I'm Rick Allen. Kansas Speedway has been on the schedule for the past 9 seasons, and we've never had a repeat winner in all 9 races. But 3 will have the opportunity to adjust that statistic today. If Hornaday, Skinner, or Bodine are successful, it'll be their first win of the 2010 season. And because Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch are not in the field today, their odds are better because those two have won 3 of our first 4 races. Let's get you caught up to speed. We look back at our first 4 races. We're underway with the Truck Series 2010 season.
3, 4, 5 trucks all collide. Hornaday's in the wall.
You just can't bump draft in these things, and Ricky will learn that.
Bodine blocks the advance down low.
Timothy Peters moved out.
Peters has got something that's got to go. Whoa, we get to the Bodine.
Todd Bodine scrapes the wall. Timothy Peters goes to the bottom of the racetrack to take the lead.
Side by side, Bodine hangs on to it.
A little contact. Timothy Peters is wild coming up to the line. Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona. Race number 2 of the 2010 season. Green flag in the air.
3 wide already.
A little contact.
I think that there's a fender rubbing.
Ron Hornaday Jr. breaks loose and slams the outside wall.
Crafton's truck out of shape in the middle groove. He climbed the banking. He tags Bodine.
Here comes Kevin Harvick pulling away from the field.
A true dominant afternoon for the Easy Go Chevrolet.
Green flag in the air. We're underway from Martinsville.
Noreen Kartikeyan gets turned around on the front bumper of Clay Greenfield. Hornaday got into the back of Johnny Sauter.
That's obvious contact right there from the 33 to the 13.
Hard to imagine a more dominant day.
Harvick will win at Martinsville again. And here comes Johnny Sauter. Not happy with Ron Hornaday. Green flag in the air. We're underway from Nashville.
A lot of aggressive racing. You got to get all you can get.
Almost 3 wide again. Johnny Sauter is in the crosshairs as Kyle Busch retakes the lead.
In his first ever Truck Series race here at Nashville, Kyle Busch is heading to victory lane.
First win for Kyle Busch in his own truck. That's got to be a great feeling.
Well, there's no question that Timothy Peters never gets tired of seeing that victory lane ceremony from Daytona, but we've had about a month off. What have you guys done to prepare for today and our upcoming races to try to keep the momentum?
Jeff Hensley and all the guys on the Red Horse Racing Toyota Tundra team has worked really hard on our mile and a half program, and you know, it shows up here today. The same truck that we had at Atlanta we qualified 30 with, we qualified 10th today. We got a really good piece in race trim, but just like to thank Chip Lofton with strutmasters.com, Crescent Tools for being on board with us this race, and how about that ride we had Friday in Fat Albert Airlines with all the guys with the Blue Angels? That was awesome what that C-130 could do.
It was really cool, and we'll have more of that story coming up for you on the setup. Timothy Peters rolls off 10th today, and we want to hear from a newcomer to Camping World Truck Series. He's with Adam.
And that would be Ken Schrader, who's in for Kevin Harvick in the 2 truck today. The boss has had pretty good success in this truck. Has he put any pressure on you, Ken, to go out and wheel it around this place?
Well, just, you know, getting a chance to drive for Kevin Delana was awesome, and then Easy Go stepped up to sponsor it. But they're having a fantastic year. They did remind me that they're leading the owner points, and they intend to be leading it when they leave here, so no pressure.
At least beat your teammate, all right?
Teammate's awfully stout. I'm just looking forward to working with him.
Schrader starting 12th today, Rick.
They talked about points. Let's take a look at our points after 4 races. Timothy Peters, the only driver with 4 top 10 finishes to start the season. Eric Almirola, Todd Bodine in the top 3. Now Harvick and Kyle Busch, they won't compete in all of the races this season, so they'll drop out of the top 10. Matt Crafton holding on to the 5th spot. And how about Ron Hornaday, currently in 6th, trying to defend his championship? Well, we're entering our 4th month of the season, and we've only got 4 races in the books. That means that the drivers have had a lot of downtime, and Ron Hornaday has been able to take advantage of some of that downtime as he visited his hometown of Palmdale, California. On April 8th, the four-time series champion was honored by the city of Palmdale when they renamed a street Ron Hornaday Way and also presented Ron with a key to the city. Let's hear from the honoree. He's with Ray.
Well, some pretty cool video there, Ron, as we're talking about the big accolades you got back there at home. But I want to go back to our racing season this year. 178 out for you guys right now. What do you guys do to try to get back on track, start winning races?
Well, we just got to start finishing first. And, you know, last two races we ran pretty good. So we've got a good piece here with the Longhorn Chevrolet, and Kevin Delaney has given me another great truck. So we'll see what Doug makes some calls in the pits. And we made the adjustments for the weather, so I'm glad to see the sun come out, so we'll see what we have.
All right, beautiful day here for sure, and Ron Hornaday looking to get back to victory lane. Adam?
And last month, the Rain Karthikeyan was the recipient of one of India's highest civilian honors. We're talking about the Padma Shri Award. The ceremony took place at the Presidential Palace in New Delhi, India, with the honor being conferred on Karthikeyan by the President of India. And this afternoon, Karthikeyan will make his second career start in the Camping World Truck Series, 13th in a very successful debut at Martinsville, and the Indian starts 22nd here today. Rick?
Well, thanks, Adam. As we're just getting underway with today's setup, we want to make sure to give a thumbs up to a few different drivers that have performed very well, and particularly on our last race at Nashville. And you saw a look at that 60 truck. We want to start our thumbs up with Stacy Compton, going from 17th to 9th at Nashville, getting a top 10 finish. How about Rick Crawford adding to his statistics in Nashville? With his 10th place finish, that puts him at 159 top 10 finishes in his career. James Busher started 20th, made it all the way up to 13th, and today he will start 11th in the field. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World RV Sales and check out the Freedom Elite Motorhome starting at only $49,995. And by AC/DC, Iron Man 2, the album, available everywhere now. Truck Series drivers like to have fun, and on Friday it was infectious. Todd Bodine, Matt Crafton, and Johnny Sauter visited the Ronald McDonald House of Kansas City to visit and play with the families at the house and deliver supplies for the Tom Murphy Memorial Playground. Last month, the NASCAR Foundation and Sprint Incorporated broke ground on a new state-of-the-art playground for the house. They also had the honor of presenting a $50,000 check from the NASCAR Foundation to the Ronald McDonald House of Kansas City. Don't forget, on Friday, May 21st, the trucks run at Charlotte on NASCAR Day, and for just $5, you'll receive the official NASCAR Day pin, and your donation goes to the NASCAR Foundation to help out those less fortunate. And welcome once again to the setup presented by Polaris. Now, I'm just filling the seat for Chris DeVota. She was busy in Richmond last night and is on the speed report tonight. So, again, just keeping the seat warm for her. Now, there were a few drivers that were able to take advantage of a very interesting trip on Friday. Some of those drivers got to get involved with the aerial demonstration of the Blue Angels and their transport vehicle, which is called Fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey!
Well, what we're going to start off with is a low transition takeoff to a max power climb. So I'm going to do a 60-degree angle of bank turn, about a 2G turn off to the right, followed by an immediate reversal to the left. We're going to be 60 feet off the ground, traveling at 320 knots, almost 370 miles per hour. Does that sound good? Everybody ready to go? All right, sounds good. All right.
I'd really like to make it to the start of the race. So if you could at all help me out, give me a good ride, and then get me back on the ground, I would forever be thankful. Woo! Woo! Here we go. 60-degree turn. Boom! The G's, baby! Oh, the ground's right there! And there it is again. Whoa! That was awesome.
We had a lot of fun, and you may have seen, well, me have more fun than well, Private Ray, who was sitting next to me. I was enjoying the trip. I'm not so sure Ray was enjoying it as much as I was. He might have been a little bit scared. Ray, you weren't scared, were you?
That wasn't it, Rick. It's that you had the super duper flight suit, and that helped keep the pressure in. I didn't have all those great things, but all the things that Johnny Sauter has at his command are to have a really good truck today. This is the same truck that you used to go to Victory Lane at Las Vegas. Can you pull off that same feat again today, Johnny?
We sure hope so. That's why we're here. But just glad to have In-Country Television back with us, Curb Records, obviously. But, you know, we were fast right off the truck, and this truck's always been fast for us. We struggled a little bit at Nashville with this truck and figured out why, I think. So this is one of my favorite racetracks. I don't know why. It always just has been, and looks like we're going to have a good crowd today. So. Felt like it was good in happy hour, and if we do it right and have solid pit stops, we'll be there at the end.
Who's your toughest competition? Who do you got to beat?
The usual suspects. I mean, Hornaday, obviously Crafton. All the guys, I mean, Skinner, Bodine, you know they're all going to be there by the end of this race. So, you know, we just worked on our truck trying to make it turn as best we could and work hard. And, you know, it is what it is. We just need to finish the race so we get back up in the points race.
Okay, good luck to you. There's a good chance that Thorsport Racing is going to be right at the front today, Adam.
And Brian Eichler, no stranger to successful debuts in his first ever event for Kyle Busch Motorsports. 32nd to 3rd at Martinsville, top 5 in your first ever truck start here at Kansas a year ago. So what's your confidence level for today?
You know, I don't know. We've got a really good Toyota Tundra. We've got M&M's on board with us today. Really confident. Got a great team behind me. So hopefully we can capitalize and have a good finish.
Eichler starting 9th here this afternoon. Rick?
Well, thank you so much, and welcome to Phil and Michael for joining us up here in the booth. It's time to take our trip down memory lane. Whenever we come to a racetrack, we want to kind of review some of the things that have taken place, and we've had 9 years here. Phil, talk us through your memory.
See, I want to take a look back at 2008 Ron Hornaday. He started from the pole, and he led 136 laps. Easy, right? Well, not so much. He had to hold off his teammate, Jack Sprague, on this green-white checker finish. Basically, well, it wasn't really a green-white checker. They ended up completing the entire distance, but it was a 2-lap shootout. That was actually the first 1-2 finish ever for KHI. They since have had 3 more. This is the only one that Ron Hornaday was able to win. I mentioned that Ron Hornaday won this race from the pole. He's the only pole winner that ever went on to win the race. And oh, by the way, he starts on the pole today to try to make it 2 times for a pole winner, as well as becoming the only 2-time winner here at Kansas Speedway.
All right, Mikey, now your memory lane takes us back just a little bit further to when Terry Cook got to victory lane.
Yeah, in 2006, Terry Cook started 5th, had a flat tire early though, Rick. He was in the midst of a 4-year losing streak, hadn't been to victory lane since 02. Grabs the checkered flag here after taking lead from Mike Skinner with 40 laps to go, and celebrates doing donuts and such. We're going to see that later on today too. Somebody's going to pull into victory lane here at Kansas. What a great place to race on a Sunday afternoon. Check this out.
The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Herculiner Truck Bed Liners. With Herculiner, the tough comes easy. And by Wrangler. For unbeatable comfort and value, you can count on Wrangler Jeans Company.
It's great, not only for Kansas Speedway.
Be an area where you can walk out almost over the top of the racetrack from that casino. And welcome back to the setup presented by Polaris. Well, as we get closer to the start of this race, few drivers are enjoying some of the hobbies that they do off of the racetrack. One of those being the number 47 of Brett Butler. I guess you could call him the big dog on his block.
When I'm at the racetrack, that's my full-time job. When that race is over, my full-time job is back here at Alpha Dog Training. I would never do that if I didn't have my brother to trust back here at the kennel.
My passion is still 100% in racing. You know, that's what I love to do. but it's also kind of cool to find something else that you're interested in.
Going into kill facilities, it's really sad to see dogs being put down for bad behavior. So what I wanted to do is bring those dogs out and kind of teach them how to behave so that they could be put back in another home. I went up and interned with a man named Andy Hanlon, Dogs by Andy up in North Carolina. Learned everything from him. We train heel, sit, stay down, come in place. It's a little 3-week boot camp. You can get your dog done in any language, French, Belgian, Dutch, German. His dog, Greta, is in Belgian, Liger, Sita, Acta.
Good girl. I don't want strangers, to give out orders to my dog. I want the dog just to listen to me. Acta. That's really the only reason. And it sounds cool too. Liger. Right place.
All their basic obedience has to be done. We have to have 100% control of the dog before we can move on any further.
I'm about to put pseudo, fake dope, fake drugs in this little filter.
So it's heroin, crack, marijuana, and LSD is what we got our dogs trained on. It's just a scent, but it's all fake. It's not real drugs, we promise. I guarantee I'm gonna get random drug tests probably every week after NASCAR sees this. And we're never gonna tell our kids we have drug sniffing dogs, because if they wanna hide it in our house, that we could just find it. And they can't lie because our dog's telling the truth. I believe my dog.
That's fake drugs right there.
We're gonna go hide it in a locker, and Kelly, our Belgian Malinois, is going to find it. Let's find dope. Good girl. Good girl, show me. Good girl, Kelly. Good girl, that's your dope.
Right now, my favorite part is narcotics and bite work. It's a game, so all she wants to do is bite the sleeve and not me, because I'm her owner. She loves me, but this whole thing's a process. Eventually, we'll get her off the sleeve and put a bite suit on. And in a real life situation, like if my wife is at home by herself, she doesn't have to have a gun or worry about a gun. She has a dog, and everything would be on command.
We started this new program where we're going to rescue a dog a month from the animal shelter where they euthanize the dogs, and we kind of modify their behavior and try to move those dogs that we're rescuing out to be in a new home. It's a lot of fun. I love my job. I love being with dogs. It's just a lot of fun.
And a pretty impressive hobby away from being a race car driver. He also trains, well, a few of the stars' pets. Nala, Kelly Pickler's dog, and Brass Knuckles from Big Boy of Outcast. And let's hear from Brett Butler. He's with Ray.
Hey, Rick, he just told me that I could put on that big arm pad and he could have some of the dogs chase me. I said he must not have been watching the Fat Albert story. I don't have the stomach for that stuff. But an incredible project for you on the side. But talk about mastering this racing thing, Brett. It's a brand new deal for you in trucks. How you liking it?
Oh, I love it. The Field Doctor Chevy, we were running pretty good in practice. Kind of slipped up in qualifying, but we'll make our way up.
The good news today is you got plenty of time to practice passing, right?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't get to do much of that in practice. We stayed kind of like single file, but it's a long race. We'll get a lot of passing in tonight, hopefully.
All right, we wish you good luck. Brett Butler rolls off 33rd today here from Kansas.
Eric Almirola enters today second in points. He has been a model of consistency in 2010. No finishes outside the top 12. So tell us what your biggest challenge will be today.
Probably that 33 truck. It is every week. KHI's got a really good program, but everybody at Billy Blue Motorsports has been working really hard to catch back up to them, and our Toyota Tundra is pretty good today. I think it was pretty good in practice yesterday. We made a couple long runs, and we felt like we were really good. So just proud of everybody on this Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra for bringing another good truck. They bring good trucks every week, so just having fun out here in Kansas. The sun's out, no tornadoes, so we're in good shape.
And Eric Almirola will roll fourth this afternoon, Rick.
Richard Childress on hand. That's Austin Dillon's grandfather. Enjoying a Kansas race. The fans have made their way from the infield into the grandstands, and the drivers are standing by their trucks as we're getting close to pre-race ceremonies. Stay with us here on the setup. Welcome back to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series setup presented by Polaris. We're in Kansas City, Kansas at the Kansas Speedway, about to get underway with the 10th race at this racetrack and our 5th race of the season. Next on the schedule for the Camping World Truck Series, we'll be moving on to Dover International Speedway for the Dover 200. That is Friday night, May 14th at 8 p.m. with Chris Devoda and the setup. Thanks for joining us here on the setup. The drivers are ready. We hope you're ready to get the engines cranked up and racing from Kansas. Next.
Deep in the heartland of America sits a Midwestern palace, home to the thrill of victory.
He's been close so many times, and finally, Eric Darnell in victory lane.
Hell yeah! Woo! Oh my gosh, dream come true.
I know I've passed every truck at least 5 times.
The birth of stars.
The crowd is on their feet, and Carl Edwards wins the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250.
Oh man, I love you, Steve.
And the working man's hero.
My hat's off. Randy, we got it, buddy.
Ron Hornaday looks as though he's going to have enough fuel, and he will win in Kansas.
Todd Bodine came over the radio and said it feels like home.
Where West meets East, youth meets experience, and rubber meets the yellow brick road. Racing in the land of Oz starts now on Speed.
Welcome to Kansas Speedway. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 here on Speed. Well, we've had 9 previous races and 9 different winners. That's one of the stories we're going to be following, and the guys that will cover most of the stories on pit road, Adam Alexander and Ray Dunlap, join me. Ray, what's the story that you need to follow today?
Well, Rick, I just came down to the front of the grid to try to find out what will Ron Hornaday, our pole sitter, do as we get ready to roll off today. You know, as the pole sitter, you've got the option to start on the inside or the outside. Hornaday said, I'm leaning towards using the outside lane. I said, what is the deciding factor? He says, we haven't quite made it yet. They're about to make that decision.
I'm waiting for Harvick to call me to let me know that.
Okay, so the boss has to tell him whether or not he should start inside or outside. Adam, what's on your news?
Perhaps one reason Hornaday would think about the outside lane is last year when he was on the pole, this guy, Mike Skinner, who started on the outside of row 1, beat him off the corner on that first turn and was able to grab the early lead. Skinner went on to victory, and it was a big day for Randy Boss Motorsports, the first time they had ever had an opportunity to take home the trophy. Skinner starts 8th today. He battled an ill-handling truck yesterday in practice, but they think they have this brand new machine dialed in. Perhaps he can make it 2 in a row here in Kansas. Rick?
Thank you, Ray and Adam. And the crowd had a great chance to get up close and personal with the drivers earlier today. They were invited down into the infield, got autographs from some of the drivers, actually were on hand when some of the final adjustments were made to these NASCAR Camping World trucks before they're ready to take on 167 laps or 250 miles from this Kansas Speedway. Let's get the pre-race ceremonies underway. We go back trackside.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Washington High School Air Force Junior ROTC present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Dick Lionberger, United States Air Force Auxiliary of Savannah, Missouri, offers our invocation.
May we pray. Almighty God, our loving Heavenly Father, we thank you that we are the favored ones who live in this great country. Please be with those who wear the many uniforms of service that put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe and free. We pray your presence with everyone who's involved with the Camping World NASCAR truck race today. Please keep everyone safe from harm. Drivers, the pit crews, the fans, the track and race officials, and all of the safety and emergency folks. May the fire of competition and the desire to win in the hearts of all the drivers be tempered with just a little bit of sportsmanship. And may we have a wonderful day. We ask these favors in the name of our Lord and your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now to perform our national anthem, please welcome Hiawatha, Kansas native Jeremy Vitt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gorgeous day to enjoy racing at Kansas Speedway. The O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 and the engines firing coming up next. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. Visit Camping World RV Sales and check out the Freedom Elite Motorhome starting at just $49,995. By Just for Men Hair Color, Live Forward, and by the Sponsifier. Visit ToyotaRacing.com today and click on it, design it, enter it. Welcome back to Kansas Speedway. A gorgeous day for racing as the drivers are strapping in to their race trucks. If you weren't with us for the setup, you'll now know that Chris Devoto also wasn't here with us, so we'll get you reset up. The 14 truck is not here. It's the first time in, well, since 1997 that Rick Crawford has not been behind the wheel of the 14, but Rick Crawford is in the 76 truck today. The 33 is on pole for the third year in a row, and we have had 9 different winners in 9 races from Kansas Speedway. And we welcome once again Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip. Now, Phil, what is the significance of starting on the inside or outside? We heard Ray talking about that with Ron Hornaday after winning the pole. What makes the difference?
You know, I talked to Ron Hornaday this morning, and he said, I really would like to start on the outside because I don't want to be on, be on the inside and that outside truck pull me around. He said, but if I start on the outside, then that puts the 2 ThorSport trucks together, because Matt Crafton qualified second. That would put him on the inside, and Johnny Sauter, who qualified third, right behind him. So he said, I really don't want to get those 2 trucks together on the initial start. So at that time, he was undecided about what to do, and I think, as Ray mentioned, he's waiting for Kevin Harvick to tell him.
When they bail off into turn 1, Rick, though, they're going to run wide open all the way around that turn here at the start. They might do that for several laps into this race. Where they struggle is grip off the turn. So as the trucks exit turn 2, if Ron's pinched down on the bottom, he's got that thing cut. He could get loose up under that truck on the outside. So those are the things he's considering. What's going to happen if I line these ThorSports trucks up, and what's going to happen if I get pinched down? I've got to make these decisions. And he's wanting some help from the boss.
Yeah, everybody wants to keep their foot all the way to the floor here with the tapered spacers on these trucks. Let's get the engines fired. We go down for the command.
Famous words in motorsports. Please welcome the owner of Chatto's Body Shop, Trish McDaniel.
Drivers, start your engines!
A spectacular command to fire the engines. They're all coming to life. 36 trucks taking on Kansas Speedway. Welcome back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 from Kansas Speedway, Kansas City, Kansas. A gorgeous day for racing. 66 degrees, a slight breeze out of the southwest. The forecast is for partly cloudy skies as we see the trucks rolling on to this mile-and-a-half racetrack. The starting grid will roll across the bottom of your screen, and amazingly enough, it is Ron Hornaday and Matt Crafton will start 1 and 2, as that's the way they ended the 2009 season. Let's take a look at our Z-Max track description for this mile-and-a-half hill.
Very wide racetrack. There's a lot of grip up there. You see the corners are banked at 15 degrees. There's some bumps over there over in turn 2. Some of the guys in the garage we were talking about having a little bit of trouble through those bumps, but a great racing service, Michael.
Bill, we were wandering around the garage area this morning, and these guys just say the sense of speed in the center of the corner here at Kansas is greater than anywhere they feel all year long. They're going to run these trucks 170, 80 miles an hour down in this corner, and they're going to ask themselves to go wide open around there. Wow. It feels like when you turn in, you pick up speed. You get faster because of the G-forces and the way that truck feels down in those turns.
Let's look at our Nature Valley Granola Nut Clusters race analysis. 36 trucks starting this race.
See, this is one of the longer races on the circuit, 250 miles. You see the first just under $600,000 in our pit window, somewhere between 55 and 60 laps. And these guys will have 4 sets of tires for this race.
It's time now for our speed spotlight as we take a closer look at a few different drivers in the field, and we start off with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, I'd like to take a look at Rick Crawford today. You know, for 14 years, he's driven the number 14. 326 consecutive races for Rick Crawford, driving for Tom Mitchell. That all comes to an end today. Here at Kansas, he'll be driving the number 76 Super Seal truck. Now, Super Seal is designed to keep water out of your basement, but it's pretty tough to keep Rick Crawford out of a Camping World truck. I asked him if he's set for Dover yet. He said he has no idea, but he sure hopes to be there. Adam?
We go from a veteran to a rookie, and Justin Lofton, the 7, will start 14th today. It's been a busy week for him. On Thursday, he spent time at Fort Riley with Army soldiers and the Big Red 1. He shot a heavy machine gun as part of his duties there on base. A dozen soldiers are with the team today. The truck will carry a special sticker on the B-post honoring those soldiers. A special day for them. Bill?
Double A, I want to take a look at 20-year-old Jesse Smith right there from St. Louis, Missouri. He is actually making his NASCAR debut. He won national titles in midgets and bandoleros. He was a 2006 ASA Late Model North champion. He's run 14 ARCA races scattered over 4 years, including a couple here at Kansas where he started and finished 3rd in 2008 for his best ARCA finish. He has some support from Charles Tire as well as great clips, and he will start from the 19th position in that Toyota. Mikey.
Phil starting 30th today. Let's look at Jack Smith. Jack is a short track veteran from Ohio. That truck he's driving, the number 63 Mittler Brothers truck. I want you to listen to some of the guys that have driven this truck over the years. Jamie Murray, Carl Edwards, Jamie Argar.
Justin Allgaier?
There you go. Brad Keselowski, just to name a few. This truck has been a stepping stone to great things in the sport of NASCAR, and Jack hope it is for him as well.
Those are our spotlights. We will keep up with those throughout the race. We also will ride along with a few different drivers, one of those being Ken Schrader.
We're also going to ride along with Mike Skinner, won the Toyota onboard. He won this race last year. Rain shortened a couple days longer, but
there he is.
That's Johnny Sauter.
There's Johnny Sauter right there, driving for Thor Sport. You see him on the inside, starting behind his teammate, Ron Hornaday chose the outside.
They're going to try to push each other down into that first turn, Phil. These trucks together, draft, will go a lot faster.
I'm sorry, we do not have an onboard on Mike Skinner's number 5 Toyota. Instead, we have the number 81 Toyota of David Starr. David Starr is a great runner on mile-and-a-half racetracks. He won at Las Vegas a few years ago, driving for Randy Moss Motorsports here in the Toyota onboard.
And he'll start in the 25th spot.
Let's ride along with Todd Bodine. I guess we could call him Mr. Mile and a Half, right? He's got the Toyota onboard camera. Great view from that truck. You see Austin Dillon up to his left, right at the front of the field. So great pictures out of Todd Bodine's truck, starting 6th today.
So we'll have an interesting ride with those 4 drivers. Speaking of interesting, let's hear some of the interesting stories before the green flag flies from Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, I was doing a little history look back, and in 1995, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened up in Cleveland. Also, that was the year that Oingo Boingo broke up. Bill Clinton was president, easy for me to say. But when you look back to that year, there was also something else special happened. Ken Schrader won his last NASCAR race. He's a big fan favorite, no question about that. But when you look at his numbers, been a long time since he's been in victory lane, and I think that certainly could change today. Driving for Kevin Harvick in the number 2, Schrader, I think, is the man to beat. Adam?
Perhaps his best competition here today, his teammate Ron Hornaday, who will start on the pole here at Kansas for the 3rd consecutive year. And while he's got a great starting spot this afternoon, it was not a great start to 2010 for the defending series champion. You look where he finished, and you see where he was in points as a result. But he's made a major climb up to 6th in the standings, still more than 170 points behind our leader, Timothy Peters. But a good run today, perhaps a victory, would continue to get Hornaday right where he needs to be to get that 5th Camping World Truck Series title.
What mentality does Timothy Peters take into this race?
Got to go. Got to go. You got to run as hard as you can. He's had top 10 finishes in every race. He's got to continue that. Top 5s.
We'll see if he takes on that attitude. Green flag in the air from Kansas Speedway. Ron Hornaday with a good start. He was your pole sitter. He chose the outside line at the start. Here comes the 88 on the bottom. Matt Crampton battling for the lead through 1 and 2.
Hornaday fights back on the outside. Remember, that truck on the inside will get a little bit loose.
Looks like Matt did coming off that second turn. Phil bobbled up the track a little bit, gave Hornaday that run on the back straightaway. So far, his plan to start on the outside worked perfectly.
Eric Almirola right now jumps out in the 2nd spot in that 51 truck.
Now these trucks are loose right now, Phil. You know, the tire pressures are low, the tires are cold. They're side by side. That means the aerodynamics is going crazy around them. So this is a tough lap or two these guys have got to complete.
Across the stripe for the first lap, it's Hornaday, your race leader. Eric Almirola got credit for finishing or crossing in 2nd. Crafton dropped back to 3rd, Bodine 4th, and Johnny Sauter 5th.
Crafton peeks to the inside of Almirola for that 2nd spot. We had a side-by-side back behind them for 5th with Johnny Sauter and Mike Skinner. They're still side-by-side.
This is another one of those racetracks where you can run at the bottom or run 2-3 lines up through the turn. So we've got a lot of places to pass at this track.
But I'm telling you, I'm tense for these first few laps. These guys trying to sort it out. Their trucks aren't handling like they want them to, eventually, like they hope they wind up handling. So they got their hands full. And you see Rick side by side all the way back through the field.
The problem with these trucks is if they're handling perfect right now, that means that they're going to get tighter and tighter and tighter as the run goes on. Typically, most of the guys were really, really loose qualifying in order not to be too tight as they get going. But for this battle, almost contact. Looked like Johnny was going to wobble up into Skinner.
Sauter on the inside, Skinner on the outside as they cross the stripe. Just behind him, your point leader, the number 17, Timothy Peters. Peters looks to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe looking for an opening to get by these two.
3 truck of Austin Dillon right behind Timothy Peters. Great early run for him. Been very, very impressed with that young driver. Started out a little bit rough at Daytona, but after that, he's really been impressive.
Get his grandfather on hand today. Richard Childress.
You ask Rick, what about Timothy Peters? What's he going to have to do during this race? You know, Ron Hornaday is going to keep the pressure on. Sure, he's 170-some points down, but Timothy knows if he doesn't give it everything he's got every race, Ron will just gnaw away at that lead and eventually be on his tailgate.
You know, after 4 races last year, Ron Hornaday was 71 points behind. Now he's 178 points behind, but he won the championship last year by 187. That means he gained 258 points from after the 4th race, so he is not out of this thing.
Well, remember, Ron Hornaday went on a run last summer where he was dominant. 5 wins in a row in the Camping World Truck Series, setting a record.
Got a pretty good start to this race here.
Not bad at all. Again, you had mentioned earlier, he's the only driver to win from the pole at Kansas Speedway. And once again, out in front of the field to start this race. And now he's got a 1-second lead over his closest competitor, Matt Crafton.
I'm impressed with the start of this race. These guys have run side by side, and they've been close to being out of control, but they've been able to work it out. And you know, Phil, when they run down into these turns, they're barely letting off the gas, and the sensation of speed is just amazing here at Kansas.
These trucks will run anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour faster through the center of the corner than a Sprint Cup car will.
And that's because of the tapered spacer, the less horsepower?
Because of the tapered spacer, less horsepower, and more downforce, especially more side force with these big sides on these trucks.
I was talking to that man right there, Kenny Schrader, earlier today, and we had a test over in Chicago with these trucks with basically the same engine configuration as they have now. And, you know, you go down this front straightaway and you think, oh, heck, here comes that turn. And when that turn gets here, you feel like you're going to speed up and go faster. He said it's the same thing in this 2 truck. He kind of wanders down the front straightaway, but knowing when he gets down to turn 1, the game's going to have to pick up. I'm really interested to watch Schrader today. He's going to be patient. He's going to be calm. He knows he's got a truck. He got one loose off 4. Got a flat tire and a crash.
That is Narain Karthikeyan sliding back up in front of the field. And it looks as though no contact with any of the other trucks, but into the wall goes Narain Karthikeyan in that number 60 truck.
I think Narain was just a victim of circumstances there. He did such a great job at Martinsville, racing all day long, getting a top 15 finish, learning about these trucks. I believe the 16 truck blew a left rear coming off turn 4 and lost his truck and just dove right into Narain.
Yeah, that's Wes Burton right there. He's making his 3rd Camping World Truck Series appearance, but it's a brand new team here, this number 16 truck. One of 3 brand new teams that we had here this weekend, but tough break for Narain Karthikeyan.
Oh, man, and, you know, that's just so disappointing. He said, I get this stuff. I raced all day at Martinsville. This is a big old wide track. I know I'll be able to race all day here, but I believe that's the tire off the 16 truck. I saw that fly up in the air. Let's see if we can get a replay here.
And we look back at what took place coming out of turn number 4.
We look back behind this, we're looking at right there.
See the 16 truck come down and hit Narain?
Yeah, Narain was underneath the 16 truck.
16 truck had a tire go down, went flat, blew out, and he's almost spun, and Narain was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Tony Jackson Jr., the 07, did a nice job avoiding. There's another. There's a contact. He just came down, turned left off the outside wall, ran right into Narain, and look at the 07 get by, just barely. Tony Jackson Jr.
You know, Phil, Narain didn't see that coming. He was just coming off turn 4, running his own line. Watch.
Look at the very right of your screen here, the 2 white trucks. He came down at a 30-degree angle. Narain just riding along, biding his own time there, minding his own business. And unfortunately for him, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And like you said, look at Jackson. He just slowed down. He made sure he tried to figure out where that truck was going and did a wonderful job of not making that accident even worse for Narain.
Narain out of his truck and into the safety vehicle. And a very disappointing day in India because they have been following this broadcast in India today as we see Mike Skinner now making his way onto pit road.
Several trucks coming to pit road this early in the race.
Schrader also on pit road. Adam Alexander.
A little bit early for Mike Skinner. They were not happy with how this truck reacted yesterday, and there were a number of teams in the garage this morning, Rick, that were concerned with their vehicle if we were going to get sunny skies, which we have today. Cloud cover is what they practiced under yesterday. A chassis adjustment. They top off the fuel tank for Skinner at lap 9.
Kenny Schrader.
And Ken Schrader also on pit road here. They will change tires. Nope, looks like they're pulling a spring rubber out of the right rear for Schrader. They'll put that right rear tire on, and left rear tire on, I should say, and send him on his way.
That's a spring rubber out of the left rear there, Phil. That means that truck wasn't handling like Schrader wanted it to in the corners. Evidently, if he's pulling the rubber out of there, the thing was tight. He couldn't get it to turn.
They're cleaning the front of that truck off because you see the steam coming out of the overflow at the base of the windshield. It is overheating. That's Tony Jackson Jr. We'll be back. Tomorrow night, don't miss an all-new Fast Track to Fame. It's the talent show so wild it could only happen trackside. It's an all-new Fast Track to Fame from Las Vegas Motor Speedway tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Marcus Ambrose is our guest judge. You want to check that out. And do you think it ever snows in the desert? It did this time.
Ron Hornaday out in front of the field. We've completed 11 laps, and he's been out front all 11. Tomorrow night, get your NASCAR fix with NASCAR Race Hub. Get the latest NASCAR news and information and hear straight from the drivers and crew chiefs when they stop by the garage to hang out and talk racing. NASCAR Race Hub presented by Hooters tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
You know, Tony Stewart's going to do a media ride-along in Charlotte tomorrow, and we're going to be there to cover that. We'll have that on the Hub tomorrow night. And also this week, Jamie McMurray, Daytona 500 winner, and Clint Boyer's crew chief, Shane Wilson, will also be on the Race Hub this week. Don't want to miss it.
A lot going on the Hub.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot going on pit road, Adam.
Nothing to lose. The 5, 2, and 23 all coming down. That would be Mike Skinner, Ken Schrader, and Jason White, respectively. They all pitted at lap 9, made adjustments, and got a little fuel. They top off the tank at lap 13 and rejoin the field as we get set to go back under the green flag.
Now Phil, we saw him make some adjustments, a little bit of tape it looked like on the front of the 5 truck. Did that put those guys into a different pit window? Is that why they're comfortable with coming in, getting a little gas? I mean, I know it puts them in better shape than it does our leaders, but then they kept coming back to pit road. Was that all about adjusting the truck, or does the gas help them get to another point?
I think it was adjusting the truck, because we still have 154 laps to go. We know these guys can run about 60 laps tops, so that's not going to be enough to make it only a one more stop race. So I think it's all about the adjustments. We do it early.
We talked about Schrader getting a rubber either in or out of that left rear corner. You actually put one in, which means when he goes down the corner, the thing wants to spin around, the back wants to come around. You got to get that worked on, and doing it early is really smart. Now you can go to work on the rest of the field.
Back in the gas, Ron Hornaday, a couple spreading out back further in the field, 3 and 4 wide, as the green flag back in the air from Kansas.
Hornaday chose the outside once again. It worked for him the first time. He's going to stick with that plan. Right now, Todd Bodine he's emerged up in the 2nd position.
There's a surprise, right? Todd up front on a track like this.
Yeah, he's won 10 of these races at mile-and-a-half racetrack.
Matt Crafton dropped all the way back to 4th now as Todd Bodine has moved up to 2nd. Timothy Peters has moved up into the 3rd spot. Now Mike Skinner gave up the 5th position to come onto pit road, and we saw Ken Schrader give up 13th to come onto pit road as well.
Yeah, Mike Skinner was involved in a torrid battle with Johnny Sauter over that 5th position.
You can see what he's got, what he's faced with now. He's Austin Dillon right there in front of him. A lot more crowded back there.
Seems like Timothy Peters has got things working now as he moves up into the 3rd position, Ray.
And Rick, he was very tight down in 1 and 2. He called back to Jeff Hensley. Jeff said, don't worry, we got a lot of adjustability into this truck. We'll get it better for you. But just before we went back to green there, he called up to his spotter, Kevin Ray, and he said, check that right front tire
problems
for
on
me.
the racetrack, Ray. The 21 and the 10 are involved. Jennifer Jo Cobb in the 10 and the 21 of Chris Eggleston.
See some right side damage to Chris's truck.
That's Chris Eggleston in the 21, and we saw the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. A lot of damage to the left rear of that truck.
That has the look of what we talked about when the race started. Why I was so nervous, I knew these trucks are hard to drive on cold tires, and looks like maybe one of these two got loose.
Tough break. This is a hometown track for Jennifer. I know she was so optimistic about doing well here, and she may be able to get back on the racetrack, but considerable damage to that truck will take her out of contention for sure.
Well, she had a solid qualifying run. You know, the truck was right in the middle of the field. See what happens. Oh, gets loose.
Yeah, Jennifer Jo just got a little bit loose. Chris Eggleston came along with absolutely nowhere to go. Got caught up against the outside wall.
Chris was really looking forward to today's race. I talked to he and his teammate Jason White down in the garage, and they really felt good about their trucks. And that's sort of like Narain. Same thing happened to Narain on the front straightaway. Chris Eggleston just didn't have anywhere. There's nothing he could do. Unavoidable contact.
Wrong place at the wrong time for Chris Eggleston.
Here's Kenny Schrader right here. Let's see what he saw. Gonna be right up in front of him. Here Kenny off the gas, on the brakes, just eases down to the inside of the racetrack. It's not the first time he's missed an accident, is it?
That's an old veteran right there. When he just rolled down the gas and wandered his way right through that crash. You saw Brett Butler in that Fuel Doctor truck. He was just ahead of Schrader, making his way through as well.
There was David Starr's Toyota on board. We were riding with there out the back.
Our first caution came out on lap number 9, and that was when the 16 and the 60 had an issue on the racetrack. Narain Karthikeyan now out of the infield care center with Ray.
And of course, a victim of circumstance for Narain today. Are you okay? The first question, and tell me about your ride.
Yeah, I'm okay, but I don't know. The guy in front just turned right and took me out. I don't know what the problem was, but yeah, I was just a passenger after that.
An incredibly busy schedule for you coming up. Tell the fans about where you'll be in the next month or so.
Yeah, we're planning to test on Thursday, then Friday I'm off to Europe and for a race there. And then coming back here and then back to Europe. So kind of busy till Texas, but I would have liked to get some more running here for sure because I wanted the seat time, but well, it's not the case, so I'm disappointed.
The bad news is his truck's tore up. The good news is lots of frequent flyer miles coming for Narain. Adam?
Eric Almirola with a solid starting position today inside the top 5, but the truck was very tight on exit in the early going, so they elected to come down pit road on this early caution, topped off the fuel tank, and they also worked on the front end to help him turn better through the center of a corner. They know this race can be long, wanted to take advantage of the early caution to make an adjustment. He does so at lap 17, and he has rejoined the field.
Those guys aren't shy about pulling spring rate out of the front of those trucks at 51 to 15. We see them up under the hood a lot, working on them and doing it early in the going, like we said with Schrader and Skinner and those guys. It's really so. This is a long race. They got a lot of time to make it back up.
Mike Harmon is the recipient of the Aaron's Lucky Dog, so he will get a lap back here at Kansas. And then we will go to the double file restart when we come back. Welcome back as we get ready for the restart. Ron Hornaday has been out front all 19 laps that we have completed. We've slowed the pace down twice now. 2 cautions, the first one coming out on lap 9, the second one on lap 17. Todd Bodine running second. He is going to be on the inside once again. And again, the leader of the race chooses which line he wants to restart in. And so far, Ron Hornaday has chose the outside line every time. Green flag back in the air.
And we've seen the truck in second make a run at Ron, but he's been able to hold him off so far. Todd Bodine decides he's going to get up in line behind Ron and follow him down into turn 1.
Side-by-side battle for third. Timothy Peters, the white truck on the inside. Looked like he wiggled a little bit. Matt Crafton on the outside.
That'll flat get your attention. You start wiggling around 170 miles an hour with your foot flat on the floorboard and start turning right. Trucks all around you.
Timothy hasn't recovered yet. You see Johnny Sauter get by the 13 truck on the outside. Ricky Carmichael right now pulls up behind the 17 of Timothy Peters.
He's got to go down to the next corner, Phil, and be a little bit defensive.
Yeah.
You can't come off turn 2 sideways.
He's got to breathe at some point.
The top 9 all in line. The last one in that line. The 18 of Brian Eichler. Again, getting seat time while Kyle Busch was in Richmond last night.
Big wad of trucks right there.
The big win for Kyle Busch last night. He won the race. Today's his birthday. Getting to sit at home, watch speed, see his trucks race.
Give a shout out to KB.
Yeah, hey KB. Congratulations on the win. Do we have an ISO on him at home?
I do not believe we have satellite connection with Kyle Busch's home. Take a look at David Starr. A good run on that 3 of Austin Dillon as he's able to go by.
Uh-oh.
Eric Almirola has a pass-through penalty that he is serving right now on pit road. So he will serve that penalty, head back out as we continue watching racing on the right side of your screen.
He came back in the pits when there was 1 to go for the restart. Obviously must have sped on pit road. Too fast entering. So probably he's going to get a lap down here, Adam. The leader's going by now. He's just now getting to turn 1 on the apron.
Yeah, tough break for Almirola in the early going. And the reason he came back down pit road is someone's fender brace came through the front end of that race truck. So they wanted to get a little Baramond on it and make sure it was aerodynamically sound. Unfortunately, as you said, speeding on pit road causes a penalty. And now he has gone from bad to worse, running at the tail end of the lead lap, going to go a lap down very quickly.
Johnny Benson. We saw Johnny Benson in the number 15. Take a look at the 51 trying to stay on the lead lap, but the 33 closing in.
He did do a good job of getting onto pit road and off pit road and stayed on the lead lap. And with the benefit of the Aaron's Lucky Dog lurking, if Hornaday is able to put Eric a lap down, he's going to be right with the leader. So as they catch slower trucks, the 51 truck will get by him as Hornaday does, and hopefully that'll put him in a position to get that lap back. They needed to work on that truck, but they sure didn't need that penalty.
Here's Mike Skinner. He's making his move back towards the front. Remember, he came in on lap number 13 was his most recent pit stop. He's up into the 14th position right now. 13th actually. Just took over that spot from Rick Crawford driving the 76 truck.
Super Seal number 76 for Rick Crawford. A very unfamiliar sight, seeing Rick Crawford in a vehicle that doesn't have a number 14 on the side.
You know, we talked to Rick in the garage area yesterday, and he said he really was impressed with this operation. Very small shop, but he said when I walked in the shop, I saw some of the faces, and I knew we had a bunch of racers. He said, I really want to help him with this program. In the meantime, it allows me, as we see Ron Hornaday try to put Eric Almirola that lap down. He said it helps me continue to get to the racetrack and still trying to put something together with Circle Bar Racing.
You know, we saw that Rick Crawford is in the 76 today. He's been in the number 14 forever, so you know where he's running, Rick? 14. He can't shake it quite yet.
Shake that number 14.
Look at these two, man. They're all over each other.
Eric Almirola does not want to give up the lead lap. And we see a battle now for the 3rd spot as Johnny Sauter takes it away from Matt Crafton.
It's Timothy Peters, the 17 truck, lurking behind. He's got his breath back from getting loose down there a few laps ago.
The momentum is back for Timothy Peters.
Oh,
we got a problem again. The 46, Terry Jones gets into the infield. That's on the back stretch.
Terry's another one of the regular ARCA competitors. Has been here in an ARCA car before, but making his debut here in the Camping World Truck Series, one of Danny Gill's trucks.
Looks like he's going to be able to get rolling, keep these leaders from coming around and getting him a lap down, and then because of the fact that Eric Amarola was running it, Eric's not sure whether he's ahead of Hornaday or not, whether he's going to be the Aaron's lucky dog or if he just got his lap back on his own. They're riding side by side on the back straightaway, so one way or the other, Eric is going to be back in the race.
Yeah, we're getting a report that Eric is the Aaron's lucky dog. He will get back on the lead lap. It was very, very close to him earning that lap back by being in front of Ron Hornaday, but obviously that's not the case. But he will be on the lead lap when we restart this race.
The pit road is open. We'll see if there are any takers as we've completed 27 laps on lap 28 of 167.
Yeah, they're coming. They got to come.
Hornaday making his way onto pit road. We go back down to the boys on pit road and Ray Dunlap.
Well, listening to the radio down here, Rick, quite a few adjustments coming the way. Loose all the way around for Todd Bodine in the number 30. They're going air pressure adjustments on the right sides of that Germain Toyota. And for Timothy Peters, he's tight in 1 and 2. Jeff Hensley said, no matter what anybody else does, we're pitting. Looks like the whole field down on my end. It'll be 4 tires for the 17, adjustments for the 30. Adam?
Bottom of your screen, Johnny Sauter running inside the top 3 when the caution came out. Tight on exit, the word for him. They will make a slight air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Top of your screen, the race leader, Ron Hornaday, has dominated today. He said, give me 4 tires, top off the fuel tank. Absolutely no changes. And the quickest on pit road, David Starr. Perhaps some strategy there. Hornaday, it looked like, was second.
You know, David Starr had driven from his 25th starting spot, Phil, up to 9th. So he's got a fast truck. I watched that pit crew down there. It looked like maybe they just took 2 tires and possibly even a gas to go, but I saw a couple tires over the wall. So I think they took 2 tires, but man, what a run early in the going for David Starr.
The reason we're under caution, the Amherstburg, Ontario native, Terry Jones comes out of turn number 2, slides down the backstretch and into the infield of the backstretch. And that is our 3rd caution of the race. We'll be back with more racing from Kansas Speedway. These messages.
What you do with Schmales is you get him by the hamstring.
Part of the fan-friendly All-Star Week of events is NASCAR Revved Up, a free concert in Uptown Charlotte featuring recording artists Switchfoot and Parachute. Visit speedtv.com/allstar for more information. Beautiful shot of downtown Kansas City.
Oh, I'm having a great day of Sunday afternoon. Got trucks on the track. What a venue this Kansas Speedway is too, guys.
Todd was having a really great day till he got penalized for exiting the pits too fast, and we'll have to make it. Actually, he's already done his pass-through penalty. There you see Todd right there. Watch him leave the pits now. Rick Crawford had come in, did some pit strategy, either 2 tires or fuel only. And watch Todd. Norm Benning is just now coming to his pit, I think, but Rick Crawford is right there, and he's passing Rick Crawford. So I thought that Rick Crawford was running really slow, but maybe Todd was just running really fast.
He's definitely running real slow compared to Todd. Now, Todd was out of bounds, though, so he had to come back to pit road. A couple of guys getting these pit road penalties is costly. You know, you look at Amarola, he's back in the back because of getting the Aaron's lucky dog. But if he had just been able to stay ahead of Hornaday, he could be up there leading the race right now because he wouldn't have had to pit.
Because he had just pitted just a few laps before that.
Todd Bodine would have restarted 3rd, but because of the penalty, he is in the back of the field. Bringing them to the green flag, it's the 81 of David Starr on the outside. Ron Hornaday on the inside. David Starr was scored as our race leader, so he chose the outside line as Hornaday has done on all the restarts.
So this is the first time that Hornaday has restarted from the inside. It looks like it's going to work for him down there too.
Same result. Ron Hornaday with the lead as they exit turn 2. He's got a strong truck today.
Yeah, maybe he's got a good truck.
I think that's part of it. 3 wide maybe?
Matt Crafton trying to get to the inside of that 76. Again, that's Rick Crawford.
Look at Crawford go in that new truck.
Jumps out in front of the 81 of David Starr.
Ray Dunlap.
David Starr feels like he has a good truck, but you guys were right. He did go with 2 tires on our lap 28 pit stop. No adjustments on that race truck, but 2 tires only to try to get track position. Adam?
And Brian Eichler, who's been very solid here today, running in the top 10 throughout the afternoon, came in the 8th position, restarted 16th because they had an issue on the jack when they made their pit stop. So a tough break for Eichler. he's going to try and rally back. You may remember he made his debut in this series a year ago and finished inside the top 5.
These guys just need to get some laps in, Phil. We've seen it already. You know, after you have a restart, you're going to have the possibility to get loose and have another caution, another restart. We've had that happen here.
We've had a lot of pit strategy too. A lot of guys with 2 tires, so you wouldn't think the 2 tires would be quite as good as the 4 tires.
Hornaday gets high off turn 2.
I tell you, Rick Crawford is hanging in there extremely well now. He's actually taking a look at the inside of Ron Hornaday just for a moment going in turn number 3.
What a battle for the lead. Look at
He has to check loose. He's losing into the side of the 56, Taylor Malsom, and so Rick Crawford takes out the 56 as he gets loose, battling for the lead.
That's what we talked about, you know. Oh, watch out, guys.
Behind them, trying to thread the needle. A couple trucks very close.
The 6 truck actually got in the wall after he got through the incident. Brian Rose, I think, trying to avoid maybe Rick Crawford coming down the racetrack and made some pretty significant contact. He's right in front of the start-finish line. There he is. You caught a glimpse of him right there.
Look how hard that truck's hit, both left and right side.
So again, the 76 of Rick Crawford trying to battle for position up front, gets loose, slides into the 56 of Taylor Malsom. They collect the 6 of Brian Rose.
Yeah, tough break for Brian Rose. You see the damage on the 56 Toyota of Taylor Malsom. Brian Rose making his comeback. It's been several years since he's been in the series. Had a 3rd place run driving for Bobby Hamilton back, as you saw on that graphic several years ago.
Check this out.
Rick is loose. He's in trouble right now. Johnny Sauter goes by. That's going to further suck the back end of the truck around. Then he just keeps chasing it up the hill. And unfortunately, Taylor Malsom comes by on the outside, and they make contact.
What happened to Brian Rose? How did he get involved in this mess?
Watch it. Watch this. See, there's Brian. And he did get clipped by the 76 of Rick Crawford. It looked like the 21 of Chris Eccleston went in between those 2 trucks. There's another view. He's just chasing it up the hill and runs out of racetrack. Taylor Malsom is there.
Check out the speed of the guys approaching. They're all trying to slow down and get to the bottom.
We can't even see those trucks right now because of the smoke. There's Brian Rose. He's that white. You see the back of that white truck still up on the racetrack right by the white line. And then Rick Crawford just clips the right rear corner and turns him almost head on into the outside safer barrier.
What do you need, Phil? 6 inches?
That's about it. That's about it. There's another view. Johnny Sauter very, very fortunate that he got by before Rick really got up loose into the outside, but Taylor Malsom was not quite as fortunate.
Taylor Malsom was running in the 5th spot. He was collected in this one. Riding along with Mike Skinner.
Look at the view he sees.
Yeah, he sees it right away, too. Mike is on it right away.
Did you hear him get back on the gas?
Got back on the throttle. Out of here. Yeah, those guys are up against the wall. I'm going to get back on the throttle and get by that. Here's real time. This is how quick it happens and how quick these guys have to make these decisions.
Now you see the 6, he just was going a little bit too fast, so he pulled out on the outside of that black truck, and they're just almost
barely
made it through.
Just barely. Chris Eccleston goes right between the 76 and the 56. There's another look.
Taylor is doing just what he's supposed to be doing. He saw an opening up high right behind Johnny Sauter, and then Crawford just lost control of his truck and spun right in front of Taylor. Sort of like Narain Karthikeyan as he exited turn 4 earlier. A truck hit him in the side. There was nothing that Taylor could do at that point.
A lot of damage to that Super Seal Ford F-150. Ray?
Well, down here in Taylor Malsom's pit, this is a brand new truck from KBM, chassis number 3. And Taylor came on the radio and said, guys, I believe this truck was good enough to win. Right now, Dan Stillman gave them the information to cut the left front fender completely off. So they're going to try to leave the hood onto this race truck, but get the fender away from the tire. They'll replace that. It appears that there is no steering damage on the front end, mostly this cosmetic here, but they're going to pull the rear quarter panel completely out, and also the crush panel has got to come out. So a good bit of work here. They're going to lose a couple of laps at least, and their goal now is just to get him back onto the racetrack to log some laps.
And you see Matt Crafton on pit road, a little bit of a surprise there. He's being scored in the 5th position, so we will follow up on Matt's situation in a moment. But a lot of chatter on the radio for leader Ron Hornaday. They have concern about the left rear tire, and if it is rubbing when he gets into the corner. They were concerned that when they made the pit stop, they may have knocked the fender into the tire area, and that's what's created the tire rub. Now, they had said they were definitely going to come down pit road. Then they said they would not come, and now they have decided they will, in fact, come down pit road. They know they're going to give away a lot of track position here, but they don't want to take a chance on blowing out a tire. So Hornaday will come down and make an unscheduled stop to get that left rear tire issue resolved.
And you know, Phil, Ron Hornaday exited turn 2 on the lap that these guys crashed, and that sort of precipitated this accident. He didn't get off turn 2 well. He pushed up, and when they got down to turn 3, like you said, Rick Crawford was trying to get on the inside of them, Johnny Sauter on the outside, so he backed these guys up as they got down to turn 3, and it caused an accident off turn 4 because of the fact that he didn't get off 2 like he hoped. Now he's on pit road.
Making his way to Adam Alexander down there in the 33 team's pit stall. You see the crew. They've got the bat ready. They'll use that to push out any sheet metal. Looks like it's very, very minimal damage, though, Adam.
And it's something they've dealt with really throughout the weekend. They've got the ball bat. They're looking above the tire. They're going to take that ball bat and roll it around between the tire and the sheet metal. And they've confirmed now it's not rubbing. So they're going to give up a great deal of track position here. They did top off the fuel tank. And now they continue to look right at the base of where the sheet metal would angle in and have a chance to cut that tire. But I'm looking at the clearance, and they've got at least a half an inch and as much as an inch clearance all the way around the tire. I think Hornaday's fine. He'll go out, and they're talking to him about coming back down pit road and maybe changing that left rear tire now.
You know, Phil, the body shifts to the right when you go down to the corner, so that's why they had to be extra careful. You're going to the left, so all the G-forces takes that body over to the right. So if it's close at all, that tire will start to rub.
Yeah, you can almost be rubbing on the right side and be okay because the tires go away from it.
Rubbin's racing.
Rubbin, well, sort of.
Just you don't want it rubbing on a tire. Johnny Sauter's out in front of the field now at Kansas. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Honey Nut Cheerios. Be happy, be healthy. By Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World is offering more prizes and more chances to win this year. Log on to campingworld.com and enter today. And by Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage. Ominous clouds behind the grandstands. That is to the west of us, so any movement of weather would move from the west to the east. The 33 topped off back on pit road once again to top off for fuel, as did the 88 of Matt Crafton. You see them tucking to the back of the field.
Todd Bodine did also. Todd Bodine right in front of that group right there. Adam, what went on with the 88 truck?
The reason they came down at lap 37, Phil, we saw that they were in unscheduled. Not sure why the Romeo window was loose, so they had to make that adjustment. They got that taken care of. As you guys pointed out, he's topped off the fuel tank. Hornaday and Crafton with a little company as they try to make their way back through the field.
We'll keep our eye on them as the field comes to the stripe once again. Green flag back in the air. Johnny Sauter on the outside, the 31 of James Busher on the inside. Busher finished 12th in the nationwide race on Friday night.
Yeah, this is the first of many races. Oh, trouble.
Problems coming into turn 4 or
it's
turn
Matt
1.
Crafton involved.
Crafton is involved. We see the 63 of Jack Smith, the 01 of Carl Long.
Who's that truck on the bottom?
Down in
Jesse
the grass.
Smith involved in a Charles Tire Toyota.
There's another truck down in the grass that has not got back up to speed and is parked. We see a lot of damage to the front of the 88 truck. It's the 21 of Chris Eggleston. He's been involved in an incident earlier today, our second caution.
Yeah, this is his second crash of the afternoon.
There's Carl Long in the 01.
A lot of smoke from that 90 truck as it comes off of turn 4. Stays on the racetrack, though. It looks like an engine situation there. Is it coming out of the tailpipes, Michael?
I believe it is. Right after a restart, you'd have to wonder if maybe he missed a shift or something and caused those issues with his engine.
Let's see if we can take a look at what happened here. Watch at the back of the pack here. Look, see, going right out of your right side of your screen was that 90 truck. There he is, left side of your screen. Looks like I saw a little puff of smoke there. Oh, there's Matt Crafton tried to go between Carl Long and Jack Smith.
Yeah, Crafton.
That's what really caused this incident. I think what happened with the 90 truck was separate from this.
Well, it might have backed those guys up a little bit, but Crafton was down off the racetrack. He was on the apron, which is perfectly legal here at Kansas. You can run under the yellow line if you want, but there was a turn coming, and he figured he needed to get back up on the road. But that was not a great decision by Matt.
It has to go behind the wall here. Some severe point ramifications for Matt Crafton.
Coming in 5th in the point standings. He was 128 points behind Timothy Peters.
Let's take a look at that again. I'd like to try to figure out where he was headed.
Watch now. He has a run going. He goes to the inside of the 63 of Jack Smith. You see Hornaday goes between Todd Bodine and Carl Long. And then Matt just ran out of room there. The 01 was there, Carl Long. And then Jack Smith actually made contact with the right rear corner of the 88 truck.
A second look at, Matt was going straight. It looked like Jack maybe. Do you think Jack Smith maybe came down into Matt?
Well, I think he was coming for the corner. He was, he was going to take his normal arc into the corner.
And you saw the 33 of Hornaday had gotten by the outside of Carl Long and was coming down, and it looked like Carl was going to follow him down into the turn and came down on that 88 of Matt Crafton. Here are the trucks that were involved in the incident on the track, and you see the 90, the smoke rolling out the right side and the tailpipes of that truck, and Hornaday now making another stop.
Hornaday narrowly missed that little problem.
Adam.
And they continue to work on that left rear tire, making sure they have clearance. And because we didn't even get one full lap of green, Hornaday really didn't have anything to lose, I should say, by coming down pit road. So they topped off the fuel tank, and he continues to be in a positive area as far as a pit window is concerned. Should we put together some green flag laps? And you see the results of Matt Crafton being involved in the incident. Heavy damage on the right side of his truck. And as soon as he pulled down to pit road, they looked at it. Bud Hafley came on the radio and said, to the garage. He knew it was too bad to continue and repair on pit road. A tough break for one of our title contenders.
You could see, Phil, not only the aerodynamic problems, but the right front suspension was hurt really well, a lot as well. Let's see if we can look at it. I really want to see what happened as they got down to turn 1. Slow it down and watch these trucks ahead of Crafton.
I don't think the 90 truck had anything to do with it. Yes, I think his engine was going south, but I don't think he did not keep pace. You see him well up in front of this group right here. You see Ryan Hornaday goes to the inside. Between those two trucks, Todd Bodine being on the outside, Matt Crafton goes to the inside. Now we're approaching the corner. Carl Long takes his normal run down to the corner, and it looks like, I really don't know why that Jack actually ran into the right rear corner of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Yeah, Matt didn't do anything wrong. He was just going straight, and Jack had plenty of room out to his right, but yet he went ahead and attacked that corner. He turned in early and hung Matt in the right rear. So
you see Matt down on the apron of the racetrack. Now he pulls back up on the racetrack. As they get down to the corner, as they go out of our view, that's when the contact is going to come.
Hard contact, too. I believe Jack Smith just turned in too early on Matt.
Matt Crafton coming into this race 5th in the point standings. Again, 128 points behind Timothy Peters. Again, he was 2nd in the championship standings at the end of the 2009 season. He has an uphill battle in front of him at Kansas Speedway. It's Johnny Sauter still leading the field from Kansas.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
You know, whether you're tailgating at your favorite racetrack, ball game, or camping 1,000 miles from anywhere, you're probably going to want to cook something. And here at Camping World, they've got every size grill you could possibly want. I like this one a lot. If you just want to cook a few things, how about the Weber BBQ? This grill has a porcelain enameled top, and it's easy for cleanup. And of course, it's super heavy duty. It's from Weber. I like this one too. It's called the Grill to Go. It's from Thermos. It's got a light on here for cooking at night. And check this out. Folds out just that easy, and you're ready to cook. I also like this one a lot. This is the Classic from Coleman. Now this has 20,000 BTUs, and I love it because there's a breakfast griddle and a regular cooktop. And check it out, they pull up just that easy for a real good cleanup. Now one of the things that's cool about this is you lock the lid, you pick it up, and you can take it to your nearest picnic table or wherever you want to be cooking. But whatever you do, whichever grill you pick, make sure you get some extra propane tanks, because there's nothing worse than a half-cooked hamburger.
The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes, more chances to win. To enter, see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules. Visit campingworld.com/racing. Adam Alexander.
An unscheduled pit stop for Matt Crafton put him deep in the field, and then Matt, take us through what happened on the restart.
Everybody kind of got bunched up a little bit there on the restart. I just pulled out of line, everybody got bunched up so bad. I went to the apron and then tried to get back up on the racetrack, and everybody like bunched up that much more. And I mean, next thing I knew, I was turned around. Honestly, I don't know what happened from there. So it was a racing deal, I guess.
And it appeared one of the drivers in the outside lane got down into Crafton. Tough break for him, and that's a product of having no track position, guys.
That's a shame. There's no way he knew what happened because the guy from his right attacked him when he got to the corner.
Field coming through turn 4 into the tri-oval here at Kansas. Green flag back in the air. Johnny Sauter, James Busher, 1 and 2 across the stripe.
What about this lead group we've got? Man, some of the guys we thought would be up front are buried deep in the field, and then James Busher and Sauter up front, Eichler, Ricky Carmichael in the 4th spot, David Starr, he's raced from the 25th spot into the top 5.
Look at these 3 wide coming off turn number 2.
Look who's in the middle of all that mess, Ron Hornaday. We know he's got to be virtually perfect this year from now on to catch up in the points, and wow, it looks very intense right here.
His top Bodine goes by Brent Raymer, the 85. Now he's going to pull up on Brett Butler in the Fuel Doctor truck. He's going to go to the inside. There's somebody down on the apron that looks like maybe Johnny Benson in the 15 truck.
Ron Hornaday making his way by trucks one at a time, but he has
battle for the lead.
He's had the fastest truck today as a battle for the top spot. Johnny Sauter on the outside, James Busher on the bottom of the racetrack. Busher trying to take the position away from Sauter.
This is the first start of the year for James Busher in this Wolfpack Reynolds truck right here. This is a teammate to Ricky Carmichael. James is going to run a number of the races. This is the first time out. Great start for that team.
Sauter on the outside, battling back as they're 2x2 behind him. James Busher in the 31 on the inside.
This is
That's
so
on the
hard.
left side of the screen. Johnny Sauter on the right.
Look at Todd. Something happened to Todd down in turn 1 and 2.
He just got loose, got sideways still.
Yeah, just slow down. Looks like he's getting back up to speed now. But when you lose some momentum, as we saw when Ron Hornaday had trouble getting off of turn 2 early in the race, and which really caused Rick Crawford's, or had something to do with Rick Crawford's situation down at the other end, it's so hard to get the momentum back.
And Johnny Sauter using the momentum to try to get back by that 31 of James Busher, Ray.
And Busher has a brand new race truck this weekend, chassis number 11 out of Turner Motorsports. I talked to him in the garage yesterday, and I asked him if he was disappointed that they didn't get to run every race of the season. He said, that's not such a big deal to me other than being competitive. He said, I'd rather run 5 races a year and have a shot to win than chase the championship. So these guys are expecting to run about 12 races this year, especially when Camping World trucks are in conjunction with the Nationwide Series.
It's a great side-by-side battles. We look from the Toyota onboard of David Starr. Timothy Peters on the outside, James Busher on the inside. Timothy has the spot for now. He takes over that 3rd spot.
James Busher drops back into the 4th position right in front of David Starr, and we see the 30 of Todd Bodine on pit road, Ray.
Came on the radio, Rick, and says, I think I may have a flat left rear, but then from the spotter stand, they said it's right side. So let's do right side tires only on the Germain Toyota. They get the rights on. He's back down pit road, but it appears Todd will lose a lap as the leaders roll by.
That's the problem we saw when he was over in 1 and 2 just a couple laps ago.
I just hope he's right, and it was indeed just a right side tire, because if he's got to come back to pit road, it really messed up his day. And with the situation he was in, he's going to lose a lap. I believe I'd have went ahead and put 4 tires on that truck, took any question out of the mix, and know that you're still only going to be a lap down.
I totally agree, because if he makes a pit stop and stops in his pits, you know he's going to lose a lap. Eric Almirola barely stayed on the lead lap by just riding through his pit on the pass-through penalty. As you can see, Eric now back on the racetrack up in the top 10.
Yeah, he's battling for the 6th spot with Ricky Carmichael. Takes it away from Carmichael as Eric Almirola looks to have a very strong truck. He'll set his sights on that 81 of David Starr now.
So he's recovered, got an Aaron's lucky dog. Now he's right back in the mix.
And in sync with everybody on the same pit strategy. Good battle. There's Mike Skinner, the 5 truck. Kenny Schrader on the outside. In the 2nd, Kevin Harvick truck. There's Alston Dillon, the 3 right behind them.
saw just ahead of those 3 trucks, there was Jason White. He's riding along in the 9th spot. This is a battle for that 9th position, side by side for 10th back there. Skinner's been to pit road, done a lot of work on that truck, as has Schrader. So these guys have made improvements to their truck. They're still trying to get them better, though.
And a wiggle out of Mike Skinner. He chases it up the racetrack as they go down the backstretch.
Completes the pass. I talked to Jason White. He said, you know, Mike, I said on the pole at Daytona, I run around there wide open. He said, I came to Kansas, I ran around here wide open, I'm 23rd or 4th. That doesn't make any sense to me.
He had a Ford at Daytona and a Dodge here, so there's a little bit of difference.
Yeah, he said it wasn't the same truck, but he was the same driver and he did the same thing, so something didn't quite add up in his mind, but he's rebounded, he's rallied, he's got that thing up in the top 10.
We saw 20-year-old Austin Dillon make it by 54-year-old Ken Schrader for the 11th position on the racetrack.
Take a look at the serial here on Amarola. It was a 3rd spot on the 11th lap. He was 31st at lap 22, then up to 22nd, then 11th, and right now being shown in the 6th position.
Very strong race truck for Eric Almirola. Now, that was the truck that we saw Kyle Busch run and win races in a year ago for Billy Ballou.
But now Kyle owns his own trucks. He's got 2 in the race today.
One of them was taken out in that incident with Rick Crawford, Taylor Mawson.
Taylor's been able to make some repairs to that truck, but Brian Eichler's riding along in the 2nd spot behind Johnny Sauter in Kyle's other truck. Mawson's on the track 2 laps down, Eichler's 2nd. Let's hear a little bit more about the 18. Adam, you down there?
What's really impressive to me, Michael, about Brian Eichler is his calm demeanor on the radio. We talked about their pit stop when they came down under caution at lap 28. They were inside the top 10. An issue with the crew dropped him back outside the top 15. Brian never got excited. He stayed very calm, and now he has been able to rally on the racetrack. The adjustments they have made have worked, no doubt about it, and he puts himself right where he needs to be to get his first career win, something that I'm sure would be a very nice birthday gift for the owner at home.
Brian Eichler running in that 2nd spot. Johnny Sauter looking to get back to victory lane as he leads the field around Kansas. His first win and only win came at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, another 1.5 mile racetrack. Timothy Peters has moved up into the 3rd spot now, your points leader with a strong performance here in Kansas. James Busher, David Starr rounding out our top 5. We knew that memories would be made today. Some are good, some are bad. Be the biggest racing fan you can be with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage, right on your VCAS phone for your hard card to racing nirvana. Only from the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon. Matt Crafton in the 88 coming back out on the racetrack. They've done a lot of work to that race truck to get it at least to this point. We'll see how it handles once he gets out on the track.
Looks like a mess.
Matt's being shown in the 28th position right now, 21 laps down.
He wants every point he can get, though, huh, Phil? They're back on the track just trying to gather up some points.
Battle for the 4th spot. James Busher in that 31, giving it up to the 33 of Ron Hornaday. I shouldn't say giving it up. Ron Hornaday took it from James Busher. That Hornaday's truck is really on a mission to get back up front.
17 laps ago, Ron Hornaday restarted in the 20th position, and now he's up to the 4th spot.
James is having a big weekend, isn't he? Real competitive the other night.
Good top 15 finish.
Heck yeah, and then he comes out here, runs right up front again.
Adam Alexander, what are they saying in the 33 pits?
Not a lot, and here's the reason why. Hornaday came on the radio and pretty much told everybody, let me get this worked out. And they've been pretty quiet. Let the big boy go to work, and he's taking care of business. As you guys pointed out, restarting outside the top 20, and he has rallied in just over 20 laps to a position inside the top 5, and he is the fastest truck on track.
Johnny Sauter has a 9/10 of a lead over Brian Eichler. Timothy Peters running in the 3rd spot, 2.377 seconds back. Then Hornaday in 4th, Busher in 5th.
It's a good 3-way battle right here. Jason White, and that Gunbroker Dodge right now has a 10th spot. That's Austin Dillon. Actually, Austin Dillon was running right behind Jason White. Kenny Schrader got back by Austin Dillon to take over the 11th position.
Looks like Schrader's a little bit faster than these two guys. He's working that bottom of the racetrack. I noticed him getting down on the inside a couple times of Jason. He hadn't quite been able to close the deal yet.
Truck
Jason's
really
got
turned good, it looked like that time.
It certainly does, and Jason's got a good handling truck. He gets down in the corners. He doesn't really slow down a whole lot. Just having a little bit of trouble keeping Schrader at bay here as Schrader starts to look on the outside. And that's the great thing. That's what drivers love about this track, Phil. They know they can run up high, they can run down low. There's a lot of options. And Schrader finally got a run on the outside of Jason, and I bet he can pull this pass off.
But the nice thing is Jason knew he was there. Jason could have easily slid up the hill, taken that spot away on the outside from Kenny Schrader, but he let him go. He knew he was there. He gave him room, and Kenny makes the pass and moves up into the top 10.
Austin Dillon in the number 3.
Saw his grandpa, Richard Childress, down in the garage area earlier today.
Was talking to Will Lynn, that's worked with RCR for years and years and years, and I asked him if Mike Dillon was coming, as we see Austin Dillon move to the outside of Jason White, and he said no, RC was going to represent the family here.
Johnny Benson, former champion in the series, currently in the 13th spot as he tries to take 12th away from Jason White.
Johnny's also going to drive this truck for Billy Ballou at Dover in a few weeks. Nelson Piquet Jr. is going to jump in this truck and run a couple races here coming up in the next couple months.
Timothy Peters, again coming into this race as our point leader, running in the 3rd spot. A very strong performance by him up to this point, right?
Possibly some problems, though, Rick. You got to keep your eye on the gauges when you're a driver. He came on the radio and told his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, moments ago, the voltmeter is starting to drop. They're down to about 9 volts on the battery. So Jeff Hensley said, turn all of your blowers off except for the right front. So he dropped his bead blowers off of the other 3 tires and also turned off the rear end cooler. So they are very concerned as to whether or not they'll have enough battery power throughout the rest of this race. They're keeping an eye on it as we go.
And Ray, remember, this is one of the longest races we run, 250 miles. We also run 250 miles at Daytona and at Talladega, so this is a long race for these guys.
And I think that's why you've seen some of the strategy you've seen earlier in the day, Phil, as we watch guys come to pit road and work on their trucks early in the going, knowing they had a long time to make it all up. Check out our 16th place running truck. That's Brett Butler. We saw him training dogs when we started the show today.
Doing a nice job there.
That's the best run that truck's had. He's running it right outside the top 15. And I talked to Brett this morning. And he said, you know, Michael, I don't really understand where all my speed is. Sort of like Jason White. He said, I run pretty close to wide open, but yet I'm not where I need to be. And as a young kid like Brett is, it's frustrating trying to get your legs under you, understand where the speeds are, but it's good to see a good solid run for him and that team.
We see Schrader trying to make the move on Carmichael for the 9th position, as well as the 81 of David Starr.
It looks like Kenny Schrader's truck's really coming around right now. That's one thing when you get somebody with the experience that a Kenny Schrader has. He knows what that truck needs to feel like to be able to get to the end of the race. He's worked on this truck. They made early pit stops, and now he's picking them off one by one.
You know, I talked to him this morning. He said he was going to be really patient, take his time today, and work his way toward the front. He said when Kevin Harvick called him and asked him about driving the truck in Kansas, he thought Harvick said, will you drive my truck to Kansas? He thought he wanted to be the hauler driver, and Schrader's like, well, I'm really not doing a whole lot. If you need me to, Kevin, I'll drive it out there for you. But Kevin said, no, you're going to drive my truck, and Schrader was honored to get a chance to get such a great piece of equipment, and I know he wants to run all the laps and show Kevin that it was a great decision by Kevin to have him in it.
Adam.
And Michael, this team very excited that EasyGo came on at the 11th hour to make sure they had sponsorship this weekend, and their hope it is a relationship that they can partner up, EasyGo and Ken Schrader, for some of the other standalones as this season continues. You know, Kenny Schrader owns a number of short tracks and races at short tracks all around the country, and we made his first practice laps here yesterday. He said, you know, this truck's a little bit faster than the car I drive at Peevely, referring to one of his short tracks. He's had a lot of fun this weekend, and I think there's been quite an adjustment period getting in a piece of equipment that is competitive as this one is. You see Austin Dillon going to the outside, but so far, Schrader managing the race very nicely, and I think he could get hired again by the boss.
Isn't that fun, though, Phil? You got a kid, 19, 20 years old, racing against a guy that's been around, seen a little bit of everything in his career, 54 years old, and yet they're just battling it out side by side, right behind the greatest motorcycle racer ever.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny Schrader has 930 previous NASCAR starts, and he had to go to the rookie meeting here.
Do you remember when A.J. Foyt had to go to the rookie meeting at Darlington back in the 80s when he showed up there for one of his first races?
Well, if you remember, back a couple years ago, Martin Martin was eligible for the Rookie of the Year award in the Camping World Truck Series when he was running it. He didn't apply for it, by the way. Johnny Sauter continuing to lead, almost a 2-second lead over Brian Eichler, running second. Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday, and James Busher are your top 5. Closing in on the halfway point from Kansas. Next Saturday, Speed presents the story of the King, Richard Petty. See how the sport's all-time winningest driver became a legend. Don't miss the NASCAR Hall of Fame biography of Richard Petty next Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
I tell you, these biographies have been terrific. Both Frances we've already seen. You see some clouds back there off the.
I would use the word ominous with those.
Junior Johnson, who I watched this weekend, was very, very good. Very well done. Really enjoy that. Can't wait to watch the Kings.
Johnny Sauter still out front of the field. He has a 2.5-second lead over Brian Eichler. Timothy Peters, Ron Hornaday, James Busher, your top 5. Eric Almirola, Mike Skinner, Austin Dillon, Ken Schrader, and Ricky Carmichael, your top 10.
You know, green flag pit stops aren't that far away here. Most of the field pitted back on lap number 28, and Ron Hornaday now. Remember, he came in on lap number 42, so he has about 14 more laps cushion than most of the field does. So he's really in a great position right now. But again, we know these guys can go 55, 60 laps. We had a few caution laps that may extend that a little bit, but we have to be probably within 10 laps of green flag pit stops.
Adam, what do you think? Are we in that number?
Phil mentioned Ron Hornaday Jr. and the fact that he has a little bit more time than the other drivers. I just talked to his crew chief, Doug George, who said, I hope it stays green, to which I replied, I bet you do, because other drivers like Johnny Sauter, who is leading, would have to come in sometime around lap 91 in the next 10 laps. And now problems for the 17, Ray.
Yeah, his battery has gone completely dead. He's coasting in right now. Engine's not even running. On this Strutmasters Toyota, Jeff Hensley said, if we have to pit under green, we won't change the battery, but that plan just got changed right now. As Timothy's on his way here, they're going to do a complete battery change here and see if that'll make the difference. Also change tires on this thing. They're about 6 laps from having to pit under green, but here he comes. The work will get underway on the point leader right now.
And oh, by the way, that will ease Ron Hornaday a little bit closer to the front. Remember, he was only 178 points behind coming in. Timothy Peters had a pretty substantial lead coming into this race.
You'd have to almost guess too that Timothy Peters will suffer a pit road penalty here. He didn't have any idea how fast he was going when he come on the pit road. No tack to judge off of. So
I think that's going to be the least of his worries. Though it looks like, I would assume he's going to try to. They are reaching in there to change the battery. The battery is right in front of the left rear tire, so that'll take him a lap or two probably to change that, Ray.
Yeah, it is going to take a bit of a time here, Phil, and right behind him, the number 31 of James Busher gives up a top 5 running position on the racetrack. They're going to go with 4 tires around on the Wolfpack Rental Chevrolet. Busher said, I really like the way it's rolling through the corners. I'm just a little bit loose coming off of turn 4. They've got gas in it, 4 tires, and James Busher back to the track. Meanwhile, the 17 continues to sit here while they do this battery change. Could be 2, maybe even 3 laps they'll be down before Peters is able to fire it back up.
Ricky Carmichael's going to give up a top 10 run to head towards pit road here on lap number 85.
Check out those two battling for position inside the top 10. Mike Skinner and Mike Dillon.
Adam Alexander.
Ricky Carmichael today driving the same truck he had at Atlanta when he finished 6th. That is his career best. They will go with 4 tires under the green flag and make sure they top it off with fuel. Carmichael's green flag pit stop coming at lap 86. Ray?
Well, down here on the 17, Adam, they're not quite sure what the problem is now. There's a chance that it may be an ignition issue. Timothy said his voltmeter just jumped back up. The motor is turning over. They are pumping gas, but some reason there's no fire. So they think maybe it's an ignition issue. There is a crew member in the window there taking a look at that box. Hensley continues to coach him on the radio here. They don't think it's a carburetor problem, but no power at all for the 17. We'll keep you updated once they find out what the issue is.
Ray, he ran 56 laps from his last pit stop. Do you think maybe his fuel pickup may not be in the right place and he just ran out of gas?
Jeff Hensley doesn't think it's a fuel issue, but again, they're looking over the electrical on the dash right now. We'll see what they have to say, Phil, and get back to you.
There's Kenny Schrader diving on the inside of Mike Skinner. That's the 6th spot he's taken away. There's a top 5 run right out ahead of Schrader. Austin Dillon's riding along in the 5th spot. So as Schrader's getting more and more used to this truck and what he's doing, don't you love that kind of philosophy, that approach? He's taking his time. Now he's turning up the heat.
Austin Dillon comes off the racetrack, as does Mike Skinner, and they're trying to push the 17.
And Rick, remember, they can only push them 3 pit stalls. That's the new rule in NASCAR. So they've got to push them backwards now. And again, the laps just continue to click by as they work on it. Let's go down to the other end of pit road and Adam.
Lap 88 when the pit board goes out for the 2 trucks you see left of your screen. Austin Dillon and Mike Skinner. Skinner with a brand new race truck has battled it all afternoon, but he's hoping to get a top 5 finish. He will get 4 tires fuel, and they will make a slight adjustment. A handful of pit stalls in front of him. You see Austin Dillon trying to record a top 5 here today after starting in the 5th spot. He has gotten better and better as the afternoon continues. Both drivers get their service wrapped up, and they will pull away.
We saw the 17 get rolling, Rick.
Yeah, they actually started it in reverse, got it fired up. He put it back in first, took off the different direction, and we go back to pit road.
And down on this end, Rick, the 81 is on pit road. Remember, David Starr changed 2 tires on his first pit stop, so it'll be a 4-tire change this time for the PC Myler Toyota. And guess what? Too fast entering for the 17 of Timothy Peters, so trouble just continues for our point leader. He'll have a pass-through coming down this end. Now back to Adam.
Lap 90 brought Ken Schrader to pit road. It also brought Eric Almirola. Their services complete. Left of your screen, leader Johnny Sauter is on the pit lane. His crew chief, Joe Shear Jr., said, run it as hard as you can. Build up a big lead that will help us on this cycle of green flag pit stops. No adjustments for the 13. 4 tires fuel. They wipe the grill. His service complete at lap 91. And now a hang-up on the right side. A little bit of a delay for the leader.
You can see that 3 truck, Phil, coming down pit road there. That's Austin Dillon. He was in the top 5. He got a speeding penalty on pit road and had to serve a service penalty just then.
Brian Eichler on pit road now as well.
That's Johnny Benson.
Johnny Benson, yep. Brian Eichler still in the 18th. In the 18 truck is our leader, and he is pulling onto pit road now. Adam Alexander.
Johnny Sauter, right of your screen, getting his service at lap 91. Left of your screen, Brian Eichler inherited the lead when Johnny Sauter made his green flag pit stop. They reminded him several times, do not speed. Eichler, a youngster, still very capable of a mental mistake, although he's driven like a veteran here this afternoon. It will be a 4-tire change. No big changes for Brian Eichler on the chassis. Left side tires will go on as well. And now you see Ron Hornaday making his pit stop. He had actually pitted under caution some 14 laps after these guys, but he didn't want to be out of sequence on tires, so he comes to pit road at lap 92. His green flag service also being completed.
We got a tire monkey out front now. Mario Goslin leading the race.
Heck yeah. It's a good-looking truck, too, leading the race. Mario's been steady. He started back in the 20s, worked his way up into the low teens before this round of pit stops started. And now through pit strategy, he's got the MyTireMonkey.com truck out front.
What a great story for Mario Goslin. Started out in the truck series, just did whatever he could do. He did whatever races what he could with the money, and then the Tire Monkey people came on board here. Full-time sponsor this year for Mario Goslin, doing a great job, Ray.
And Phil, he almost had to pit under green a while ago, completely out of sequence, because he had a piece of debris on the front of the grill, and the water temperature went through the roof on that number 12 truck, but he was able to pull right up on the back of another truck, and that dislodged the debris, so he was able to stay on the racetrack. But just about trouble, and now Mario will come to the pits right now to get service here on lap number 93, and we expect in just 2 or 3 more laps, Todd Bodine will also be on his way down pit road to give up a top 5 position.
You know, you're right, Phil. Watching what this guy, Mario Goslin and Tire Monkey, have done together, they've just taken and worked it out. You know, he's here every week competing, contending, and Tire Monkey, excuse me, used to be My Tire Monkey. They changed it because we called it Tire Monkey. Now they're calling it Tire Monkey, and I'm saying My. So, but they've got a sponsorship deal now, and that truck's competitive. They've moved into a position where they can contend, and that's just a great story for Mario Goslin and that whole team.
Yeah,
another great story.
Same story for the 07 of Tony Jackson Jr., who has scored as our leader, and now coming on to pit road for his service. That'll hand over the lead to the 63 of Jack Smith.
He was your spotlight, wasn't he, Michael?
Yeah, he's had an eventful day. You know, he was in a crash, but was able to survive that, and now finds himself leading the race.
Talk about that 63 and the fact that it has been involved in the Camping World Truck Series since its inception in 1995. Actually, the only team that has run every single year for the Camping World Truck Series.
Oh, we got trouble in turn 3.
Sliding up the racetrack into the wall. There's contact made.
Oh, Brett finally got into the wall.
That is Jennifer Jo Cobb once again in the 10. Just coming into turn number 3, got sideways, chased it all the way up the racetrack and into the wall.
I was watching the accident as it happened live. Brett Butler just dove on down into turn 3 on the inside of Jennifer. I don't think she knew he was there. They collided, and into the wall Brett went.
Brett had such a good run going. You see a lot of damage to that 47 Fuel Doctor truck.
Certainly the run of the year for that young man. He had that thing in the top 20. Jennifer's truck was wounded. And I don't think she saw Brett coming. He went for a hole, and she closed the door.
So 2 trucks involved in this, our 6th caution of the day. We're going to be trying to get a glimpse of what happened from Todd Bodine's vantage point.
Watch the closing speed. I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but Brett's really running a lot faster than Jennifer. They get to the corner. He dives for the bottom, and she turns in on him.
Yeah, he's all the way down to the white line. I think you're exactly right. She did not know he was there. He almost saved it there, and right at the very last second, he ran out of racetrack and made some pretty good contact with the outside safer barrier.
Second incident that Jennifer Jo Cobb has been involved in. You see that they've done a lot of work to that truck to get it back out on the racetrack, and now more contact with the wall in 3 and 4, and Jennifer Jo Cobb will take the truck back behind the wall. The O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 continues from Kansas Speedway here on Speed. Saturday night, May 22nd, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. And with $1 million on the line, it's checkers or wreckers. Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race Saturday night, May 22nd, only on Speed. Under caution for the 6th time from Kansas Speedway, Johnny Sauter being scored as our leader in the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. Brian Eichler trying to give chase. Ron Hornaday has moved all the way up to the 3rd spot after overcoming issues. One issue might be the weather. That's behind us here at the track. Welcome back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. You can see the rain way back in the distance behind the grandstands as the field continues. Yeah, we say way back in the distance as the field continues around this 1.5-mile racetrack. Right.
Rick wanted to give you a quick update on the number 30, Todd Bodine. They came in on lap number 98, pulled a rubber out of the right rear, made a big air pusher swing. Todd had said that his truck was very pushy loose and also went down on the track bar. Now, Todd had just gotten back onto the lead lap, and they make that pit stop right there. So he says he thinks they've got a truck that's going to be a contender this afternoon.
Definitely won't count him out. And we see one of the crew members getting up onto one of the flatbeds. It looks like either the catch can man or the gas man trying to get up on that wall. Looks like he blew his knee out, Phil.
Yeah, he was just stepping up over the wall. Everything looked fine, and then he just didn't quite make it. And you could see him just fall over in agony. So hopefully he'll be okay. Maybe it's just a sprain, but.
And they're going to cart him to the infield care center, I'm sure, to take a closer look at what just took place. Now let's take a look at today's Just for Men hair color Live Forward moment. Dover International Speedway is our next race, May 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern on Speed. Chris Devoto will be back to take us through the setup.
Had 10 different winners in the 10 races at Dover. And Kyle Busch will be back. And you know that Kyle has won 3 of the last 5 races on concrete in the Camping World Truck Series.
Will Kevin Harvick make it back into Kevin Harvick's truck in Dover?
Elliott Sadler is scheduled to run a number of the races in that 2 trucks. So we don't know if it's going to be Kevin or maybe Elliott Sadler. And there's our lucky dog, Aaron's lucky dog, Tony Jackson Jr. Remember, Tony did a nice job and was leading the race. Actually, when he came to pit road to make his green flag pit stop. And we are hearing that Elliott Sadler will be, in fact, be in that 2 truck.
And I talked to Johnny Benson earlier today, and he said that he would be in the 15 truck at Dover as well. And he said after that, it looks like it might be a vacation for me because I don't know what I'm doing after that. He wants to race more, but
he doesn't want a vacation. No, he doesn't want one.
Let's take a closer look at our speed spotlight drivers.
I got led.
Yeah, right now still on the lead lap, running 14th. Jack Smith, who we're talking about, Jesse Smith, we saw him blow an engine on that restart in that 90 Child's Tire Great Clips Toyota. Rick Crawford, unfortunately, out with an incident coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, our 4th caution was brought out when Rick Crawford got into the 56 of Taylor Malsom. They collected the 6 of Brian Rose, and that was back on lap 35. We're getting ready for the 102nd lap to be completed here from Kansas as the field comes into the tri-oval, still being led by Johnny Sauter and Brian Eichler. Green flag back in the air.
We're getting a report that the rain is very imminent right now, so I know the crew chiefs also know that, and they're telling their drivers, if we're going to get it, we're going to have to get it now. We still have 65 laps to go.
Oh, problems on the restart. The 5 of Skinner gets sideways and catches it.
Only a veteran could make that save, I promise you. Skinner was in a bind there in the middle of the field, pulled it off. The intensity is way up right now, guys. They see these rain clouds. We know how difficult these trucks are to drive on fresh tires, but they can't put anything on the ground. I mean, they got to put everything on the line right now. Battle for the lead off turn 4. Eichler up past Sauter.
Eichler in front of the field as they go across the stripe. James Busher runs 2nd. 3 wide as they get ready to go into turn number 1.
Did I see a little smoke from Hornaday's
behind the 33?
Maybe that left rear tire, is it still rubbing maybe a little bit?
Hornaday battling for the 2nd spot now with James Busher on the outside. You see Johnny Sauter falling back. Here comes Eric Almirola in the 51.
I tell you, business is picking up now. These crew chiefs know that that rain may be coming here. We're past halfway. This could be a complete race if the rain comes.
And you can see it. You can see a little puff of smoke when the 33 looks like he hits a bump. We've seen a little bit of smoke out of the back of that truck, but he's still holding on to his position, trying to keep that 2nd spot.
You can see Hornaday finally clears Busher. Now he's going to set his sights on Eichler.
Adam, what's going on with the 33 team?
It's the same issue they've had with that left rear throughout the day, and I think it's a chassis thing and the way they've got this truck set up, because there are no issues with the tires once they're taking them off. So the concern that we had been hearing throughout the early portion of this race about that left rear tire rubbing has gone away. They're aware it's happening, just not concerned about the result. And obviously like what they see on track, because Hornaday's going after Eichler for the lead.
Guys, we're getting reports from the spotters on the roof that they're feeling some raindrops as Hornaday ducks to the inside. Not able to
Hornaday gets into the back of the 18. It looks like Brian Eichler hangs on to it. I'm not sure if there was contact or not, but Eichler was sideways with Hornaday right behind him.
Eichler knows that the rain's coming. He needs to hold off Hornaday. He's in a good spot, Phil, keeping Hornaday pinched to the bottom. Can he hold him off?
Hornaday going for the lead. Coming to the stripe. Hornaday's got the position. Brian Eichler back to 2nd.
See Brian Eichler pull over to side draft on Hornaday a little bit to stall his momentum, but Hornaday's going to get the lead.
Wow, what a power move by Ron Hornaday. He went to the bottom of the racetrack and made the move.
Down the backstretch they go. Hornaday trying to put some distance between himself and Brian Eichler. James Busher running in the 3rd position. Eric Almirola, Johnny Sauter rounding out our top 5.
You know, this crew says they're not concerned about that tire smoke, but I am. That's quite a lot of tire smoke, and you know, that has to be a tire rubbing on metal somehow, somewhere.
Remember back to Atlanta, his boss was running behind him and said, don't worry about it, I think it's fine, and a couple laps later he's into the wall and he finished 34th in that race.
Guys, I've heard that right now the racetrack is under a severe thunderstorm warning, so the bad weather is coming. Right now Ron Hornaday is going.
Hornaday trying to be out front if the rain, which is imminent, comes soon.
Ooh, Sauter got loose.
Has to hang on to it. James Busher on his outside.
And look at what Eric Almirola said. He said, there's an opportunity. He's sideways. I'm going to go after him.
Eric Almirola on the apron of the racetrack through the trial, but they're still 3 wide as they go into turn number 1.
Nobody's going to give an inch.
What a battle for that spot.
Eric Almirola in front of the 31 now of James Busher. The 13 of Johnny Sauter just in front of them. The Sauter is holding on to the 5th spot. 3rd spot, as you see 3rd, 4th, and 5th all in that group.
Sauter was 5th when he came across the line last time. He's going to go across to 3rd this time. So what a battle for that 3rd position. These guys aren't out of touch with our leaders. They can see them up there, but with them racing side by side, they gave up some ground. They line back up. Maybe they can chase them back down.
Hornaday now with almost a half a second between himself and Brian Eichler. Johnny Sauter runs third. Almirola fourth. Buscher in fifth. Todd Bodine in the sixth spot.
Todd Bodine restarted this race in 12th, already up to 6th, making his move towards the top 5. You see Kenny Schrader and David Starr battling for the 7th spot. Kenny Schrader has it.
He's up to 6, and he sees up ahead.
It's raining on the camera lens.
We see moisture on the camera on the top of the 81 of David Starr. Adam, are you feeling anything down there on pit road?
There have been a handful of drops, and Ron Hornaday has been reporting rain in 1 and 2. He told Doug George, his crew chief. Doug then relayed that information to the NASCAR official assigned to their pit area. But as of now, no caution. We continue green. Hornaday leading with 57 to go.
I'm sure Hornaday's saying there's a monsoon off turn 2. Throw the darn caution.
Number one, if he was running third, he wouldn't be talking about rain, and NASCAR would believe him if he was running third. Ray.
Timothy Peters has his favorite truck this weekend, and he had a bad vibration, so he just called in and said, I need 4 tires. So he comes to pit road one more time under green, gets 4 tires on that Red Horse Toyota.
Yeah, and the 17 being scored 6 laps down. The caution flag now comes out. It is for rain. So in front of this field, it's Ron Hornaday, Brian Eichler running second, Johnny Sauter's third, Eric Almirola fourth, and James Buscher is fifth. And you've seen some of the pictures. Yes, that's behind the grandstands where we currently are. We're at the top of the press box, and you're seeing the rain coming down from these dark clouds.
Little rainstorm is Austin Dillon's friend. He's going to get Aaron's lucky dog and back onto the lead lap. Austin's been very competitive all day long. Got a pit road speeding penalty. Found himself a lap down, and now under this caution, we'll get an Aaron's lucky dog and back on the lead lap. That rain, I mean, we're right on the edge of it.
Yeah.
It looked like we might skirt. It might skirt by us, catching some drops here and there, but certainly a chance we won't get totally wet right here.
A lot of the fans have gone under the grandstand for cover. We had a great crowd here on hand.
Yeah.
There you see Austin. Getting ready to get that
He's
back.
hiding behind Ricky Carmichael there.
The Aaron's lucky dog goes to the 3 of Austin Dillon. That will put 16 trucks on the lead lap. Mario Goslin will be scored in the 17th position. He's the first truck 1 lap down.
You can go to shopaarons.com and learn more about our lucky dogs. I wonder how many we've given out over the years.
Well, it's got hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Brett Butler's off the racetrack. Carl Long off the racetrack from incidents. Jennifer Jo Cobb also off. Jesse Smith, Chris Eggleston, Rick Crawford, Brian Rose. You know, on the restart, when we first went back to green flag racing, Mike Skinner was sideways going through 1 and 2. Let's look back and his handful that he was driving.
See him right there in the 5 truck on the inside of Ricky Carmichael. Ricky comes down there. Actually, Mike runs out of room. He makes some contact with Ricky Carmichael. As you mentioned, a big time sideways situation there, but a nice save. And look at all the momentum he loses. He's going to keep the 15 of Johnny Benson behind him too, because Johnny had nowhere to go because the outside was filled up with trucks with Todd Bodine and Austin Dillon.
And I promise you, Mike still doesn't feel normal as we see him down into turn 3. That was so close to a crash. It takes you a lap or 2 to catch your breath back after something like that.
Hornaday, Eichler, Sauter, Almirola, Buscher, your top 5. Bodine, Schrader in 7th. David Starr, Jason White, Johnny Benson are the top 10. We mentioned earlier that we're under a severe thunderstorm warning right here at the racetrack. That means that the people that are at the highest points are supposed to get out of those positions, and those include some of our camera operators.
They need to duck. There's a lot of weather out there.
Look up in the left corner here.
Yeah,
see that lightning? That's why we're going to get our cameraman off the roof.
Lightning in the area. The problem is the spotters are up there as well.
NASCAR's bringing the
highest points.
The trucks to pit road too, Rick, preparing for this this storm to hit.
Starting to cover up the pit stalls, bringing out the tarps as the officials will stop the field on pit road. Ron Hornaday looking to get another win at Kansas Speedway. If he's able to do it, he will be the first to repeat at this racetrack. He's also going to do it starting on the pole. We'll be back. The Duplicolor Bed Armor What's in Your Bed promotion is launched and continues until August 31st of this year. Entry is open to legal residents of the United States and who are 18 years of age or older. Entry requires submission of an image and description of your truck in use in one of 3 categories. Limit 1 entry per person, household, or street address per category. Odds of winning dependent on the number of entries on the website. To enter and for official rules, visit www.bedarmor.com. Let's go down to pit road and Adam Alexander.
Ron Hornaday started this race on the pole, dominated the early stages, leading right now, but a lot of excitement in between. Take us through your afternoon so far, Ron.
No excitement. We had a tire rub and it looked like it had happened in practice. And then after qualifying, I noticed it this morning. And I don't know, I guess when the low air pressure started rubbing real bad. And after Atlanta, this is the same truck. We blew a left rear. We're not going to chance it. But unbelievable how fast this truck is. It's a lot of fun to drive. I got to thank Kevin Delaney and everybody up there at KHI. I mean, this is when it's fun. I mean, I've had this thing sideways. I've had it up the apron and made it 3 wide, and that just says a lot for this Longhorn Chevrolet. This is a lot of fun. I got to thank Reem, everybody that's sticking aboard. I mean, this is the VFW. This makes my job a lot of fun.
You said exciting and fun, and I would guess those are 2 words that help describe that pass for the lead when you went by the 18 Brian Eichler. Take us through that, Ron.
Well, that bad part is these trucks stall out, and I don't know, Johnny got a little loose off of 4, and I got a heck of a run going. I made it 3 wide and been clearing before we got to the corner. And then Eichler, he's been running the middle groove up there, and I said, been watching him. I've been setting him up for the last 30 laps, and finally we got fresh tires and got the same tires that he's got, and the last set that Doug put on, they were scuffed. So he was running up just a little bit, and I got him, and it started air pushing behind him, and it got him a little loose, so it just gave me the momentum down the back.
I guess with the season you've had and some of the bad luck, if the rain washed the rest of this thing out and you were declared the winner, that'd be okay with you, right?
Yeah, what's so cool is they give you a pedal car for winning the pole, and I've got 3 of them, but I got 5 grandkids, so I got to win 2 more poles here. So hopefully Kevin Delaney keeps me in this thing for another couple of years so I can win poles. But for some reason, this truck and myself really takes to this racetrack, and it's a lot of fun. The fans, I got to thank them, how awesome they were. Coming down in here, just standing in a line waiting for autographs, and we stand autographs for about an hour this morning, and see everybody, the drivers' intros. This is what racing's all about. This is Kansas City love their racing, and it's a lot of fun.
Hornaday, the race leader under the red at Kansas, Ray.
And Adam, right behind him is Brian Eichler in the number 18. And yesterday afternoon when I talked to you, you weren't very happy. You said tight, tight, tight. Looks like Eric's picked up your race truck just a little bit better today.
Yeah, definitely. These KBM guys did a great job so far. We've got a pretty fast Toyota. Tundra's pretty good. Ron's obviously very fast up front, but
wow, that's pretty crazy.
See if we don't fly away here.
You were losing. I gotta go.
It's all good. So we'll get this thing in and we'll get back going. Hopefully we can keep this thing up front.
If we get racing again, Brian, what will you do differently? Anything that you can do to adjust this thing to go after Hornaday and get back to the front?
Yeah, Eric and I have been talking a lot with brake blowers and stuff, keeping the thing freed up, keeping it turning in traffic. That's my biggest thing. We're pretty good by ourselves, but as soon as I get close to somebody, I get pretty tight.
A lot of 2 and 3 wide out there today. Is it fun?
Well, it depends on who you're 2 and 3 wide with. Old Hornaday come up and apologize right there. He had me pretty sideways down the back stretch, but having fun today, and I can't wait to get back going.
All right, in second place right now, that's Brian Eichler. He's out of his truck, and Rick, I think we need to have a commercial break.
You wanted to get dry, maybe, Ray? The rains have come down. They are soaking this racetrack now as the fans make their way under cover in the grandstands. We're under a red flag condition, Kansas Speedway. Want to keep up with all the results and stats from the track? Check out the new NASCAR Stats Package. Get the latest practice and qualifying reports, race results, and driver standings. Go to the NASCAR section of speedtv.com. Rain still coming down at Kansas Speedway as the safety vehicles are making their way around the racetrack. They haven't started drying the track because the rain's coming down harder right now. We're under a rain delay at Kansas. It's pouring rain here in Kansas, but we look forward and live forward to our next race at Dover International Speedway, May 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern on Speed.
Can we continue the trend? We've had 2 first-time series winners the last 2 years with Scott Speed and Brian Scott.
I think we can continue that, and it's going to be the Just for Men live forward.
And how about Ron Hornaday? As if this race was called right now, or Ron Hornaday wins, he will make a huge gain on Timothy Peters. Timothy Peters right now being shown way back in the 24th position. Right now, Ron Hornaday, as they run, is 79 points behind, and it was really.
It is
that looks like hail to me.
Kansas as we were able to live forward with Just for Men hair color.
Jim Cantori would be very happy right now.
Hey, Michael, it was only 20% chance of rain. I think we got all 20.
All I can say is don't be the last guy under the tent, if you know what I mean.
That's a golf ball size.
No. That's marble size hail. What are you, not from the Midwest?
Well, you always hear it's golf ball size, softball size.
I've seen softball size hail, and that's something we definitely don't want to see at this racetrack. But yes, it is hailing in Kansas.
I'm glad our cameramen are off the roof, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I'm glad Adam and Ray are undercover.
Sort of.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, this
trucks are lonely down there, aren't they?
This is a first for me. I've seen it snow at a racetrack that we have called the race from, and now it's hailing in Kansas.
But if you watch Fast Track to Fame on Monday night, you'll see it rain in the desert. It snowed in the desert. I've never seen that before.
I'm hoping that these trucks are making their way towards pit road.
Yeah, me too.
Or the garage area.
That's I would say hydroplaning would be the next thing we would see on this racetrack.
I always thought it was a bad sign when the trucks driving the racetrack had their wipers running.
Yeah, amazingly enough, as this storm is very violent right now, behind us to the west, the skies are actually clearing up once again, so it's partly cloudy behind us, but as you can see, right now we have got a thunderstorm taking place.
How many shovels is it going to take to shovel up that hail there?
Well, when we started this race, the temperature 66 degrees, so we're hoping that hail will melt quickly.
Hey, Phil?
When the sun does come out.
And AA.
Oh boy.
Yeah, cover that, please.
Reminiscent of 2 years ago at Talladega. Dorothy now skipping in the hail. We'll be back to Kansas.
A night of anything can happen racing action you'll never forget.
Well, amazingly enough, there are the dark clouds, and just behind us to the west, blue skies. Amazing how the storms and the inclement weather can pass through the Midwest. You're back here at Kansas Speedway. We're under a rain delay. We've completed 114 of the 167 scheduled laps. We have 53 laps remaining. We've had 8 different people out front, 13 lead changes. Ron Hornaday now in front of the field. Brian Eichler in second. Johnny Sauter, Eric Almirola, and James Busher are our top 5.
Wasn't that an impressive run by Hornaday up through the field, though? And he knew the rain was coming and turned up the volume and was able to get by, squeeze by Eichler. Had him sideways on the straightaway going by, but he made it.
Some of the fans staying underneath the shelter of the press box up above. Let's take a look at today's Dodge Save of the Race moment.
Right after a restart, you see Mike Skinner get squeezed a little bit by Ricky Carmichael. They made a little contact. Skinner gets way sideways.
Johnny Benson was sitting there watching thinking, where's this going to end up?
Johnny Benson was saying, I'm glad that's Mike Skinner.
That's exactly right. You don't see one out of that much out of shape and wind up everybody going in the right direction.
Well, that was today's Dodge Save of the Race moment. Mike Skinner with an amazing save on the restart in 1 and 2.
I'm telling you, the sun is all over the racetrack right now.
I agree with the 20% chance of rain now.
Yeah.
Because there's just a really small percent that came by here of that storm.
Yeah.
We got about 20%.
Well, I mean, you get 24 hours in a day, and 20% of that is what, over 4.5 hours.
Phil,
and I don't think we're going to get 4.5 hours of rain.
You're confusing our viewers. We're getting too mathematical in this broadcast.
I'm confusing myself.
The lightning has really been amazing, too, that has passed through the area, and that's, again, one of the biggest reasons why our camera operators and a lot of people that were up on top of the press box were taken off of that. Let's go back down to pit road and Adam Alexander.
And Johnny Sauter led a number of laps in this race today, being scored third under the red flag. Assess your situation as we sit and wait.
Disappointed, I think a little bit myself. Just didn't get going there in that restart. I just been so loose on a restart all day long, and I couldn't get through there wide open. And but we got a really fast in-country television curb record Chevy on the long run. I hope we get back to green. It looks like we will. Obviously, the sun's out now, so I think we got something for him. We're a long-run truck, and when we were out there leading, I was just riding and biding my time. So hopefully we make the right call here in pit strategy, and just super proud of all the guys at ThorSport helped build this truck. And we just got to get back to green and have a shot at them.
You talk about strategy. We practiced yesterday under the clouds. A lot of sunshine in the early part of this race. Now the rain, going to be a green racetrack when we get to race again. So your reaction to what that means to your truck and the track?
You know, it just depends. I mean, obviously the sun's out now, so but like you said, the racetrack's green. So we'll probably just be free like we were and come in on a long run. I mean, this thing is so fast on a long run. I'm just so proud of where we came from Nashville and all that. This is the same truck, and you wouldn't even know we were in the race at Nashville. We were so bad. So we just keep working on it and working on our stuff. We got off track a little bit there. So, you know, all I know is we're going to go back to green, and that's a good thing.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
Adam, down on my end, the sunshine has come out. I'm hanging out with Ken Schrader here. You started in the back a little bit earlier today, but been working your way up through. Tell me about your audition today for KHI.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. You know, you're driving a points leading truck and auditioning, trying to get some more rides. But it's been fun. A lot of different philosophy how you run this truck series. I mean, the Cup deal, you get your deal and you run 95% and you make your truck or your car better, and then you go like hell at the end. These guys go like heck at the start, man. It's a lot of fun, and we made some changes on the truck. Started out pretty loose, and we got a lot better. The long runs is real good. We're 7th now, and we're not done yet.
This is one of our longest races of the year, Kenny, too, with this many laps. So I'm just curious about your strategy from here to the end. It appears we're going to get the rest of this race in. So what would be satisfaction for you today? What would make you happy for a finish?
Yeah, just keep passing trucks.
Yeah,
just keep.
That's all you got to do, right?
Keep passing trucks. Yeah.
6 to go for Kenny Schrader. He's 7th right now, guys.
Yeah, Ray, we had some fun. Well, thank you, by the way, for helping us have some fun up here in the booth. That is some amazing skipping there that you've been able to do, Ray. You've really had a big weekend on Fat Albert on Friday and now skipping in the hail in Kansas on Sunday.
And Rick, you know, the memo that I didn't get about before going to Fat Albert is that you're not supposed to go to a concert the night before and stay out really late. But I thought a C-130 ride was going to be real smooth and easy. Those big transport planes can't be very nimble, right? Man, that was absolutely amazing. And I've got a great new admiration for all of the guys in the armed services that fly those planes in and out of dangerous situations. It was an incredible ride, and yeah, a little fun skipping down here, but I'm telling you, it is gorgeous right now. I think they can drive this track off. We're going to get it all in.
Ray, what concession line were you waiting in at that concert?
Well, no, never mind, Adam.
The jet dryers have made it onto the racetrack. Again, the service vehicles will be making their way around. We will try to dry this 1.5 mile racetrack and get back to action. Again, 53 laps remain in the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Camping World. Visit Camping World RV Sales and check out the Freedom Elite Motorhome starting at just $49,995. By Hamburger Helper, 1 pound, 1 pan, 1 tasty meal. And by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Amazingly enough, the sun is beating down on this racetrack, and NASCAR is hoping that they can get this race restarted in just over an hour. So we're under a rain delay situation for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 from Kansas Speedway, Kansas City, Kansas. Again, a big storm passed through, marble-sized hail. It rained hard, but now the sun is out and they're drying the track. Welcome back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. If you're just joining us, you might be saying, what a beautiful day it is in Kansas.
Well, I'm not just joining us, and I'm saying that because it looked like the world was going to end about a half an hour ago, and it's the most beautiful day ever right now.
It is very, very nice over the racetrack now, but you can see the dark clouds that have passed through here, producing a lot of rain and hail. But now that is out of the way, and they're drying the racetrack. We'll go trackside to Adam Alexander.
A number of drivers have had to live through eventful days this afternoon at Kansas. Eric Almirola, one of those. But the good news is, under red, you're in the top 5 and an opportunity to still work on your truck a little bit.
Yeah, we're not exactly where we want to be right now, so we got one more pit stop to try and get it. We put ourselves behind the 8-ball early, coming down, working on it, trying to make it better, because as soon as the race started, we knew we weren't where we needed to be to try and run with a 33. So we came down pit road, and then I got myself in trouble passing early on a restart. So we've had our work cut out for us, and we finally got back in the top 5. So hopefully we can work on our Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra and get it back up there to where we can maybe run 2nd or 3rd. I don't think we're good enough to beat the 33, but we still got one more stop.
It's been a wild day. Never know. Thanks, Eric.
You know, the nice thing is with only 53 laps to go, everybody can make a pit stop. They're all going to be in their window. We won't have to have any pit strategy. We'll see what happens man to man.
And the thing these guys need to hope is that the weather, the rain, what it's done to the track affects Ron Hornaday, because he's got the dominant truck, and they're not going to beat him head-to-head.
Adversely.
Exactly. If it hurts his truck, and they're all down there huddling right now trying to come up with a plan to beat the 33, and it's going to be a difficult task.
They're going to continue to dry the racetrack, and we will go to alternate programming. You can watch Sounds of NASCAR here on Speed as they dry the racetrack. We'll give you an updates at the top of the hour. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Kansas Speedway. It's been a half an hour since we talked to you last, and things happen really fast here in Kansas as we're trying to get the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250 back underway, as we just have 53 laps remaining in this race. When we went away a half hour ago, this racetrack was soaked, and they say pretty much washed out. Well, then they put the jet dryers on the racetrack. The service vehicles went onto the racetrack. They went to work, and a lot of this racetrack is that lighter gray now, which is amazingly dry on this racetrack. So it has happened very fast. The temperature 70 degrees, the sun beating down, helping out the drying process. So we're going to stay right here with you as they continue to dry the racetrack, and we'll talk to some of the drivers as well as crew chiefs. You see the blue skies in the background, which really is amazing because, again, about 45 minutes ago, it was raining so hard we had marble-sized hail. They called everybody off of the top of softball in your eyes, but they called everyone off the top of the press box because the storm they were coming through. It washed out the racetrack. They put the red flag out, and then all of a sudden we're 45 minutes later, and this track is almost dry.
They've made amazing progress. Usually a mile-and-a-half racetrack, you got to figure an hour and a half, 2 hours. Certainly. Wayne Otten, our series director, came over and said, we're going to shoot for 3:30 local time to get this thing refired. And we're saying, okay. But anyway, he's on schedule. We still have 30 more minutes before that deadline. Now, you know, the 90% of the racetrack is dry. They've got a few areas where water's running underneath the wall. We've had so much rain here so quickly, and also on the front stretch on the grandstand, that those are the things that are going to take a little extra time, but amazing progress.
And it's fun to watch. I mean, I had no idea that they could. We went down and took a break, had a Diet Coke, and came back up and looked out, and the track was dry with the exception of some small areas around the racetrack. So I think it's very realistic to think these guys are going to be back in their trucks and ready to go in another half hour or so.
And the neat thing is we're going to have a 50 or a 51 or whatever lap shootout here. Everyone's going to come to pit road. They're going to make their final adjustments, their final tire change, and then we're going to have at it here for about 50 laps. It's going to be a little shootout. This was a 167-lap race, and it's going to come down to a 50-lap shootout.
Yeah, you know, when they threw the green flag, we had some cautions early, and guys came to pit road and adjusted their trucks, raised the hoods, changed the way the front ends were setting on the springs and in the corners. All that's out the window. You better make sure you're right now because, like Phil said, it's a dash for the money, and they know the 33 has a strong truck. So there's going to need to be some good adjustments by guys to have a chance to go up there and get a hold of them.
The 33 is in front. He started up front, but he hasn't been there all day. Let's get you caught up on what has happened here in Kansas. Green flag came out. It was Ron Hornaday and Matt Crafton 1 and 2 at the start. Hornaday showed he has a pretty dominant race truck as he was out front for most of the laps.
He chose the outside on the start, which was a little unusual, was able to make that work.
Lap 7, our first caution comes out. Narain Karthikeyan gets caught up, slides through the grass, up the racetrack and into the wall.
Look at the job John
Jackson in the 07.
Getting by. I mean, he just barely scraped by and wound up running up front before too much longer after that.
Wasn't long until our second caution came out, lap 16.
Jennifer Jo Cobb gets loose there, catches Chris Eggleston with nowhere to go up against the outside wall. Tough break for Jennifer Jo, her home racetrack.
And Chris and Jennifer Jo will be involved in more cautions as we go along, so tough day for those two, like you said, Phil.
Lap 26, coming out of turn number 2.
You know, when
Terry Jones in that 46 truck got a little bit loose.
When they throw the green flag after a caution, these trucks are really hard to drive. They're in a pack, they're side by side, and they're loose, and these guys just have trouble hanging on to them. You see here, Rick Crawford gets sideways and collects the truck of
Taylor Mawson.
Taylor Mawson was right behind it. Watch, sliding through right at the last minute.
Yeah, Brian Rose couldn't get through there in that 6, and so a lot of damage to his truck, and his day would be over. Then lap 41, pushing the points, the 88 of Matt Crafton. He gets clipped in the back by the 63 of Jack Smith, goes around. A lot of damage to that 88 truck, and he was coming in here as one of our point leaders, so he has a tough day to work on.
You can see there, Brett Butler was down on the inside of Jennifer Jo Cobb. She had her truck damaged from a previous accident that we saw, and Brett was just trying to lap by her. She didn't know Brett was coming. They made contact. Brett having the run of his year, and it was taken away.
And here's Ron Hornaday, knowing that the rain is coming. We're feeling raindrops on the roof. He gets by Brian Eichler, not without a moment, but nonetheless gets by to take the lead from Brian Eichler, and just a few laps later, the red flag came out for this.
Yeah.
A lot of rain and a lot of lightning.
Yeah, you see lightning throughout. A lot of lightning, and then it was the hail. The rain and hail.
Basketball size.
And then next thing you know, we have Ray skipping through the hail.
Hopefully we don't have to see that once again. But you see how much rain came down in a very short amount of time. It was raining extremely hard. That's why it was so amazing that they were able to dry this track so quickly. The vehicles got out there right away.
Yeah, this drying right now wasn't doing very good with the wipers running, but now the track drying is done extremely well.
They've taken the covers off of the race trucks. Here is your race summary after 114 of the scheduled 167 laps. Hornaday out front.
It's been a very interesting race. You see 8 leaders, 13 different lead changes. Hornaday's been to the back. A lot of the guys that are in the front have been to the back and fought their way back to the lead. So I can't wait to watch this sprint race to the checker, because the intensity is certainly going to be way up as these guys try to battle for this win.
A new strategy that has presented itself to this field, and we go down trackside to Adam Alexander.
And Rick, how big did you say the hail was earlier today?
Well, I said marble.
Okay, well, I would say pea-size hail. How about you, JB?
It was about pea-size. It wasn't much bigger than that. A couple marbles every once in a while. No golf balls, though.
It didn't feel good when it was tapping me on the shoulder, but nonetheless, Johnny Benson running in the 10th position. Your thoughts on how your day has gone as we set under the red flag?
Well, we've had small issues, but nothing huge. We're starting to, truck's starting to come around, and really thank Billy Blue for coming on board. Red Top Auto Auctions, May 22nd, 23rd. Everybody needs to go. Cartersville, Georgia. Big stuff there. Got Rusty Wallace, Robert Yates there signing on autographs, plus a lot of other stuff. But other than that, I mean, we're decent. We're not good. We're decent. Had something go through the carburetor, and that finally cleaned out, so we're good there. Really got to thank John Dysinger and TRG for helping us out on that aspect. And just, I don't know, we need another pit stop, which I think we're going to get. A couple adjustments, and I think we'll be okay. I don't think we can run with 33 of them guys, but hopefully we get in top 5 before it's all over.
This is your 3rd start of the year. Where do we go from here, and how does the long-term plan look for you?
Well, we're going to go to Dover with Billy and everybody, so I'm looking forward to that. And after that, I'm pretty wide open, so got some late model races, stuff like that to do. But, you know, so I'm hoping to get some. I really like to get some from Michigan. You know, that would be nice to be able to go to my home track. But, yeah, if not, we'll just pick and choose and find what we can. And really, my main goal right now is to find something for next year so we can go run for a championship. I mean, I think that's probably going to be my main goal at this point in time. So we'll see what happens. It's been pretty rough. I don't remember it being this way last year. Pretty rough out there right at the moment.
We'll see you when it goes back green. Good luck, Johnny.
All right, thank you.
Ray?
Hey, Adam, the 23 truck driven by Jason White started 23rd today and now up to the top 10. Summarize your day so far at Kansas.
Yeah, it's been eventful. There's been a couple wrecks around us. Didn't qualify as well as we'd like to. Don't know what happened there, but this thing's really been good here in the race here. Gunbroker.com, man, we're excited about it. If we can get a couple more spots, get a top 5, it'd be a great day for us.
We've had 3 weeks off, so what has Jason White been doing with his off time?
Yeah, did a little charity event for Gunbroker in the United Way golf tournament down in Georgia. A lot of fun down there, and just been taking it easy, ready to get back to the track. So I'm glad we're here and get ready for Dover and Charlotte in a couple weeks.
Okay, hey, and guys up in the booth, he just told me moments ago he bought a brand new boat, so we're going to be having a little lake time up.
I had some help with that boat.
Had some help, but he and a friend bought a new boat, so Lake Norman coming up soon.
Sounds good.
Apparently
You're
he was
invited,
thinking, he knew that it was going to rain here. They are doing an amazing job. I can't even put into words how amazing it is, the job they're doing of drying this racetrack.
But you have to put it into words, Rick. It's your job.
And that's what you get paid for.
I do.
Really.
It's amazing. This racetrack is almost dry all the way around, and they've been at it for about 45 minutes.
I think we're in trouble. If he can't put it into words, I think we're in trouble.
Well, right now it looks like the only really wet spot is on the pit road where the trucks are parked. But they're going around with, you see leaf blowers working around underneath the safer barriers here. But you see some standing water still on pit road. They haven't put any effort into that yet. I believe they're going to be calling the drivers back to their trucks within the next 10 to 15 minutes to get them ready to go.
Yeah, I think once they put the drivers in the trucks and they get off of pit road, then they'll bring the jet dryers down pit road to blow that excess water out into the grass, and I think we'll be okay because we know once we open pit road, everyone's coming.
You know, it looked like about 10 minutes ago, getting into turn 1 and getting into turn 3 could indeed cause this delay to stretch out, but now that's even beginning to come around. We're seeing that area dry up as well. So you're right, Rick. We're just a little bit away from getting these guys in these trucks, and man, it's going to be a great battle to the finish. I know what's going on down on pit road. The drivers and the crew chief and the car chiefs, they're all talking about what they're going to be able to do to go get them some of that Ron Hornaday truck. He's proven to be better than everybody else, and folks are going to have to make some changes if they want to keep up with him.
We've heard all the drivers that we interviewed saying, you know, we need to make some adjustments. We still don't think we can run with a 33, but we need to make some adjustments to make our trucks run better.
Adam Alexander.
A busy weekend for James Busher. He ran the nationwide race at Richmond on Friday, came here for the event yesterday and today, I should say. And so far, so good in your debut for Turner Motorsports in the Truck Series.
Yeah, definitely. So far, so good, to put it easy. Everybody on this 31 Turner Motorsports Wolfpack Reynolds team is like unreal how prepared they are for their first race. It's the first time to bring this team to the racetrack, and you know, we're running 5th right now. We didn't qualify as well as we thought we would have been. We were 4th in practice and qualified 11th. I don't know really what happened there. Lost a little speed qualifying, but we're up there running top 5 all day long, and I can't be more proud of everybody at this team. And I mean, Ricky's been running awesome all year in the 4 truck, and first time we brought the 2nd truck out and running really, really good.
How would you assess your situation with this team? Is it coming over and helping them gain knowledge for themselves? Is it good seat time for you, or a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I've always been with Turner Motorsports. I ran ASA late models for Turner Motorsports and Hooters Pro Cup for Turner Motorsports, and you know, there's a history there, and we finally got to run a truck race for them this weekend, and we're putting on a good showing for them so far. And I've never driven a truck that's driven this good, so they've definitely done their homework at the shop and bringing really good stuff, really nice looking equipment to the racetrack, and I can't be more proud of them for sure.
I know David Green is spotting for you, and he has become your driver coach, so tell us how that situation's going and what he has been able to bring to the program.
He started spotting for me at Talladega last week in the nationwide race and spotted for me at Richmond the other night, and we were running pretty decent in Talladega and just caught up in a Talladega wreck, and that happens there. And you know, we ran good at Richmond, finished 12th in the nationwide car, and we're running 5th right now. So he's been a big help for me, and he's definitely been around a long time, knows what he's doing, and can help me out a lot. So that's been pretty good, and I think there's a pretty good future there.
A solid day for James Busher, and his teammate looks pretty good too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Busher with a good run today. And Ricky Carmichael, you've had a great start to the season this year, but you told me that last restart wasn't so kind, correct?
No, it wasn't. We were 7th, and yeah, I lost like 4 positions. I kind of got hung up on the outside there, and I mean, track position is key. You know, once you kind of get in there and you get in your position, it's pretty. You can stay there. And we've been seventh pretty much all day long. And I just want to get this Monster Energy in the top 10 before the checkered flag falls. We're gonna try a swing at it to make it a little bit better, and try to learn to drive this thing a little bit freer without anything happening. So I'm pretty optimistic, and all in all, it's still pretty good and still a pretty good points day. So. For the most part, I'm happy. Just a little frustrated after that last restart.
You know, Ricky, all the Cup races I've been watching this year, pit strategy has really been the big part. So here's the question. On this last round of pit stops, do you take a chance at 2 tires or no tires, get that track position? Have you guys had that conversation?
We have, you know, but at the end of the day, we need to be faster before we can even be in contention to do something. You know, we want to salvage a good points day. If I was a 31, my teammate, then, you know, he's been pretty fast all day, so he could get a little creative there. So we'll see what happens. All in all, it's been a good day for the Monster Energy Turner Motorsports Chevrolet, and we're going to see what happens. I definitely need to get up on it and bring this thing home and see what happens.
Go get us a top 5. That is Ricky Carmichael. Great start to the season. He and James Bush are teammates here at Kansas.
Thanks, Ray. Earlier, before the race started, they allowed the fans to come down into the infield and get autographs from the drivers. Probably one of the longest lines for autographs were from Ricky Carmichael. So a lot of fans here appreciate what he's able to do behind the wheel. In 2 weeks, the Camping World Truck Series will head to Dover, Delaware, home of the Monster Mile. Last year, Ron Hornaday had a rough showing, but will look to rebound and tame the monster. On May 14th, Chris DeVota hosts the setup. It starts at 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed. Dover 200, our next stop. This is race number 5 of the 2010 season. Dover will be our 6th race. 8 o'clock Eastern is when everything gets kicked off from Dover International Speedway. The Monster Mile. The Monster Mile. Who will tame the monster this year? Could it be Ron Hornaday?
It tamed him last year.
Yes, it did. Could possibly be Mike Skinner. He's looking to get back into victory lane. He's standing by with Adam.
And of course, Mike Skinner won this race a year ago, and Mother Nature played a role in how it all panned out, but a little bit more of a struggle to get to the front today, Mike.
Yeah, we're struggling today. You know, it's funny, last year we got a rain break, and we was about a 4th or 5th place truck. We came back, next thing you know, we were the truck to beat. But hopefully Gene Need and this International Trucks, Monaco RV's team can do something with this truck today. It's been awfully loose all day, and we've tried some things that obviously we need to go back to a different package. But they're doing a good job, and they're fighting, and they're keeping a good attitude, and that's all I can ask, and try to get the end of this thing.
You have one more pit stop when we get back going, so how do you manage strategy, Mike?
I think the 5 team has got as many stops as they'll let us have left. So, you know, we're going to probably stop as soon as we can and make some pretty big adjustments. And if we get a step in the right direction, we might not come back again. If not, in order for us to learn something as a group and as a team, we need to start building, and we need to come in and try something else. So we can get kind of a notebook to carry on with us.
Good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
Ron Hornaday actually climbed into the pace car and was going to take a trip around the racetrack to check on the conditions of the track. And they do this from time to time. They'll take a driver and say, what do you think?
Phil, you remember back in the day when actually they'd send one of the race cars around the pace car and he'd go run a hot lap and find out if it's dry or not?
Come back and tell us if it's dry.
Did you ever get selected for that
I
duty?
wasn't that guy, but I remember seeing that a lot, and I thought, wow, that's interesting.
I never wanted to be that guy.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'd raise my hand and say, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll let you know if it's still safe.
I like doing what Ron Hornaday is doing, riding around in the pace car, but
I struggled a lot when it was dry. I darn sure didn't want to be out there when it was wet.
Hornaday, actually, yeah, Randy Kaiser is our pace car driver, and he should be scored first.
He may be gaining a lap on the field here if he keeps going.
Now, also in the past, didn't they? I've always heard stories that they either took a paper towel or something out there.
Yeah, toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
See if it would see what it did when they laid it on the surface and find any moisture. So
We've tried
We've
just about
advanced.
everything. Just about everything.
We've
tried.
advanced from
Hey,
that to sticking your
And listen
race
to this.
leader in the pace car.
Us old people used to race when the walls were concrete. Can you believe that?
That is true. Thank goodness for the advancement in safety.
You know, I used to think that the safer barriers maybe were far beyond the biggest improvement safety-wise. But darn, these cars that we're racing in trucks these days with the seats and the technology that NASCAR has implemented into the cars, I'm thinking that's equally as important, at least 50-50, in the fact that people run into stuff and able to walk away. We've seen some terrible crashes, things that you just make you shake your head to say, how could they ever survive? And guys get out and walk away.
I really believe that the car we raced today in the Sprint Cup Series for sure, and I think part of that was predicated by the truck and how safe the truck is with a higher roof. So they basically put the driver in a seat and say, okay, let's build a race car around him. And by the way, let's try to make one that's affordable. Let's try to make one that's consistent, and we have a level playing field. And I think they've done a great job with that. And as you mentioned, the seat technology has gone beyond what we would have ever thought. Back in the day, back in the 80s, we essentially got in a bucket seat, and most of the seats didn't even have a side on the left side of the seat, or a headrest, left or right. It was unbelievable the things that we drove back 20 years ago. But it's amazing, and I'm very thankful for the safety innovations that NASCAR and all the other seat manufacturers, helmet manufacturers, the Hans people, certainly University of Nebraska with the safer barriers, all these things that have happened over the last 10 or 15 years.
NASCAR has told the drivers to head back to their trucks. We head back to pit road. And Adam Alexander.
You love, after a red flag hearing, drivers to your trucks, and Todd Bodine smiling. So either you got a really good snack or you feel like you got something for him when we go back green here.
I don't know. I didn't get a good snack. We're a lot better than we were. This Germain Toyota was really, really loose the whole race. And Junior made some big swings. I mean, some huge swings at it. And it really didn't affect it. I mean, it's still really loose. We've made it a little better, but we're going to, obviously everybody will probably pit here, and we're going to pit, make some more adjustments, and hopefully make it better. But, for the day we've had goofing up and speeding on pit road and then getting a flat under green and losing a lap, and, it cycled back out and we got our lap back, and here we are in 6th. It's a pretty good day so far, so we just got to get at the end and get up there and see if we can race them for it.
You are always so good at the mile-and-a-half racetracks, more wins than any other driver in the series. How important is it for you to take advantage of these tracks?
It's, we hate to get into that. We're the best at the mile-and-a-half. We're really, our team's been good at a lot of short tracks. We just haven't had a lot of good luck on the short tracks. So, we'd like to think we're good at all of them. But, yeah, mile-and-a-halves have always been our strong suit. And I won't say the last probably year and a half or 2 years we've struggled a little bit. And, we've built this truck. It's a new truck. It's a lot different than what we're used to. We're having to work on our setups and change them from what we're used to. But it's the only way we're going to get better. We gotta keep striving to beat the 33 up there. I just yelled at Hornaday again because he's kicking our butt. But I got a great race team at Germain Racing, and Junior's doing a fantastic job, and Tom Ackerman's really all about it. And we're trying to do the things to make our team better, and we're making slow gains on it. So that's all you can do is just try.
Don't let me impede your progress. Go get them. Ray?
Adam, what a great day it's been for David Starr. This team started back in 25th, up to about 8th right now. But here's the thing. Your first round of pit stops went with a 2-tire stop. So will that strategy play in again this afternoon?
I don't believe it will. That worked out good for a little track position, but that hurt us in that long run. But our PC Mallard Navigator Toyota Tundra, we've just been battling getting off of 2. We're just so tight off of 2. Seemed like if we try to arc the corner, it hurts us worse, and if we try to run deep into the corner, it really hurts us. There's a fine line to hit it just right. It's been a very challenging race, but all in all, the truck hasn't been real bad, but just can't seem to fix our exit off of turn 2.
One more pit stop coming. Are you telling me it'll be a 4-tire stop for the 81?
It'll be a 4-tire stop with some adjustments this time. So, we're in 8th right now. We think we're just as good. We can be in the top 5, but we want to be a winning truck. So we're going to make some adjustments and try to take this PC Miler Toyota Tundra up to the front.
Okay, good run for David Starr. He's up to 8th, and Hornaday just got out of the pace car. What do you say, Adam?
Hornaday has climbed into his race truck and getting strapped in and ready to go. Not surprised you're anxious to get going based on how good the truck was, but you were on track. What did you see when you rode in the pace vehicle, Ron?
Problem is they took Schrader and I out, but the two oldest guys here, we can't see that far. So it's black. It looks like it's dry. That's hats off to NASCAR. They always seem to get something done, but I kind of wish it was pouring. If you look at my quarter panel, we're going to have to pit and fix it. So we're going to lose some time on the track. So Doug's got the perfect match tires for the next run. So
which quarter panel are you talking about?
Well, just put the camera on the left rear. We're going to have to do a little pit stop strategy. It's the same truck we ran in Atlanta. It's the same problem we had there. Dropped the jack and the left rear tucked under. So Longhorn Chevrolet is good. I got to thank Georgia Boots, Ream, everybody. I mean, this is a lot of fun. So we'll make it exciting. We got 40, 50 laps to go.
He's been the dominating truck, but perhaps some adversity to overcome for Ron Hornaday. You see the left rear quarter panel. Some work to be done there before we go back green.
Yeah, we talked about that smoke, and they said they weren't worried about it. Well, we're worried about it. There was enough smoke off that tire that it could blow out.
And now they are worried about it.
Yeah, and it's crumpled over now. So, I mean, when it goes down into the corner and hits bumps, that's where we were seeing that smoke.
Yeah, they're going to take some extra time to make sure that they get some clearance for that left rear tire.
Everything started off today with, well, right after the flyover, and that is the Marines do this for the Blue Angels, and that plane right there is called Fat Albert, and it's a C-130 transport plane. And on Friday, they gave Ray Dunlap and myself a ride, as well as 3 of the drivers in the field today. They let us be a part of their aerial demonstration that took place up in St. Joe, and we'd really love to show you that one more time.
60-degree angle of bank turn, about 2G turn off to the right, followed by an immediate reversal to the left. We're going to be 60 feet off the ground, traveling at 320 knots, almost 370 miles per hour. Sound good? Everybody ready to go? All right, sounds good. All right.
I'd really like to make it to the start of the race. So if you can at all help me out, give me a good ride, and then get me back on the ground, I would forever be thankful. Here we go. 60-degree turn. Woo! The cheese, baby! Oh, the ground right there! That's why. We have a little weightless stuff. There it is again. Whoa! That was awesome. We did that. Thank you. Loved it.
And welcome back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 250. Great news. Trucks are rolling at Kansas. We've completed 114 laps, 53 laps to go. After a red flag condition, the trucks are back on the racetrack.
And they will be rolling towards pit road here momentarily. We're hearing that pit road will be open when the trucks get back around to turn number 4.
First time by.
Now they're all going to pit, right, Phil?
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. And we know Ron Hornaday may have to take a little extra time to do those repairs on the left rear quarter panel. So, you know, track position, he's probably not going to have the track position that he would love to have. And there's a lot of good trucks up there, so he's probably going to have to pass some.
Well, we saw how wrinkled up that left rear quarter panel was, and you can see the shininess on the tire there. That means that tire's been rubbing against that metal. So that team definitely has to make some serious adjustments to that quarter panel. He said when they dropped the jack, the fender got caught on the tire. So they'll have to take their time, set the truck down on the left side tires, and then take a ball bat and relieve that metal away from the tire.
And the problem is that sheet metal is so tight, when you pull it out in one area, it pushes back into the other area. So it's not that simple. Ray Dunlap.
Here they come.
Hey, Phil, believe it or not, a lot of these crew guys down here were not all well prepared. Many guys just getting their helmets on at the last second as they open the pits right away. James Busher will roll in here in the Wolfpack Chevrolet. The guys are going to go to work. Looks like it'll be a 4-tire stop with gasoline. Everything going smoothly so far on this end. Let's go to Adam Alexander.
Brian Eichler, middle of your screen in the 18, running in the second position, but focus on Ron Hornaday, top of your screen. They couldn't work on these vehicles under the red, but the crew already had all the bare bond ready to make the repairs to that left rear quarter panel. We'll see how long it takes them to get there. Right side service complete for Hornaday. They will work on the left side, and they will have a crewman come over the wall and make that change. Johnny Benson with some strategy. The first off pit road, followed by Jason White. Then it's Eichler. Hornaday going to go out at the back end of the top 10. In fact, he's not even going to be in the top 10. Oh, it's going to be fun to watch this rally to the front.
He's done it already once, so you know he can do it, but darn, Phil, you get back there in that traffic, anything can go wrong.
We saw what happened to Matt Crafton earlier on. It actually took him right out of the race. So they might as well take their time. They're going to be at the very end right here, so no big hurry. The pace truck right now, pace car is only in turn number 3, so they still have 10 or 15 seconds if they need it.
And you know, the reason why that fender is so close to that tire is because of aerodynamics. They want every piece of this truck to be laid out perfectly, exactly like they learned in the wind tunnel the truck needs to be. So don't think they just put the fender too close to the tire. It was there on purpose. It just because of the jack dropping or something that maybe a little bit of contact, who knows, but that fender got in on the tire, but it was built purposely to be that close to that tire.
David Starr and Mario Goslin stayed out on the racetrack when all the other trucks came onto pit road. Let's get you caught up as to what has happened to this point. Hornaday and Crafton up front for the green flag.
Hornaday chooses the outside line for the start. Has 2 Thor Sport trucks lined up right nose to tail, but Hornaday gets the lead.
He made it work. And you know, these guys did a great job for a few laps, but eventually on lap 7, a tire blows on the 16 truck. He runs into the side of Narain, Karthikeyan,
you know. Yeah, Narain with absolutely nowhere to go. Didn't even know what was going to happen to him. Here's lap number 16. Jennifer Jo Cobb gets a little bit loose. She catches Chris Eggleston up against the outside wall with nowhere to go for him.
And that caution, that first caution, just set up a bunch of events where these guys started getting loose, getting sideways, spinning out, heavy traffic, difficult trucks to drive on restarts. 46 slides in the infield, no damage there, but watch this, damage hard.
Rick Crawford in that 76 up into the 56 of Taylor Malsom. And very difficult day for Crawford. And then they catch the 6 of Brian Rose as they were coming back down the racetrack. Rose hard into the outside wall.
Rick Crawford for the first time in a truck other than number 14 in his entire career.
And as they went back to green into turn 1, Matt Crafton, heavy damage to our guy that's a big part of the points battle. That set him way back.
Here's Brett Butler trying to lap by the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. Jennifer did not know he was there. Pulled down on him. They make contact, both trucks into the wall.
Ron Hornaday, we saw where he and Matt Crafton restarted. Crafton had problems. Hornaday was able to get through. Then he goes for the lead on the 18 of Brian Eichler. And he battles to the inside and takes that spot away.
You see the tire smoke there off the left rear corner of that truck. That's when the rains came and the lightning and the hail.
Softball size hail.
A major thunderstorm blew through the area.
Small softballs. Feet of marble size hail did come through the area, and it was a torrential downpour for about 5 minutes. When rain, the skies opened up, the rain came down, and it soaked this racetrack, and you wouldn't even believe that that was only about an hour and a half ago.
And Wayne Otten came over here, the director of the series, and he said, hey, we'll have this dry in about an hour or so. And we thought, hey, Wayne.
I think he missed it by maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this happen. And it's a whole different world right now. We're getting ready to go back racing.
And let's go backtrack side. Find out what's going on with Todd Bodine and Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, a real good pit stop for the Germain crew. Todd gained a couple of spots on pit road. They did do 4 tires there and also made an air pressure adjustment to try to tighten him up a little bit. Todd said he thinks that's what it's going to take to make a run. They gained 2 spots. Bodine will restart in 5th position. Let's check in once again with Adam.
And a little bit of strategy being played out with those 2 trucks that will restart on the front row. Johnny Benson on the inside. On the outside will be Jason White. Each of those drivers elected to go 2 tires on their pit stop at lap 115. We will see how that holds out because all the others behind them got 4 on what could very well be the final pit stop of the afternoon.
And JB is actually going to choose the outside line for this restart here. They're going to get 1 lap to go, I believe. Right now, we will restart this race next time by.
Jason White's using a little strategy to get that truck up in the front. He hasn't had the speed he's looked for. He qualified back in 23rd or 4th. Has been able to race his way into the top 10. He's thinking maybe some strategy, some track position can keep him there.
17 trucks on the lead lap right now for this 40-some lap shootout.
Yeah, and a 2-tire strategy for Johnny Benson and Jason White. We have Ron Hornaday back in the 12th spot, and they spent a lot of time on pit road trying to make sure that everything was right with his left rear fender so that they wouldn't have tire rub anymore and maybe any tire problems, as we see our race summary after 118 of our scheduled 167 laps.
7 cautions, and many of those cautions, Rick, happen right after restarts where these trucks are so loose and slippery and there's so much aerodynamic weight turbulence around they're dealing with.
But what I love right now is the new double foul restarts. Ron Hornaday's 12th. Well, he's outside the 6th row. Before, he would have been outside the 12th row, basically starting 24th. So I love the new rules, the new side-by-side shootout style rules.
Now we've got a green racetrack. I mean, as green as they have been on since they first got here. So how is the handling going to change on these trucks?
That's what they're wondering. Yeah. What is the adjustment I made to my truck? How's that going to react to this new track that I'm going to be running on?
And they've been talking about that for a little bit over an hour.
What will happen? We're about to find out. Again, it's Johnny Benson and Jay White bringing the field to the green flag. We're back underway in Kansas.
Good start by Johnny Benson. He's able to clear Jason White. Three wide right behind him.
Yeah, already 3 wide.
Look at Ron Hornaday on the outside.
Hornaday wants to be in the top 5 before he comes out of turn number 2.
He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. He has enough room up there. He's pulling up on Ken Schrader. We know Kenny's going to seize there. 3 wide, 2 rows back.
Jay White falling back through the middle. Again, he was the one who made the decision, or that team made the decision to go with 2 tires to get track position. Let's see if it works out for him as he's got Ron Hornaday all over that truck now.
Ron giving him a little bit of a shove in the draft there. That shot Jason White ahead of James Busher and down into that the first turn. Phil, did you see how important that push Ron gave Jason was? Propelled him ahead like 3 or 4 truck lengths.
Great side-by-side battle for 3rd. Ty Bodine, the 30 on the inside. Brian Eichler, the 18 on the outside. Eichler has the advantage slightly.
After a just over hour and a half delay, we are back to full speed right at the edge of your seat racing from Kansas Speedway.
That didn't take long, did it? They were ready.
Not at all. Johnny Benson, Johnny Sauter, 1 and 2. Brian Eichler and Todd Bodine, 3 and 4. And Jason White has slipped back to the 5th spot.
Doing a good job, though. Jason is running right ahead of Hornaday. Hornaday's not able to make the move on Jason White yet. I think we kind of expected Ron to make it up through there quicker than he has.
So Hornaday runs in the 6th spot. James Busher behind him. Now we see Hornaday trying to get to the outside of that 23 of Jason White.
He will get to the outside of Jason as they exit turn 4.
Jason knows he's there. He gives him room. He knows that Hornaday has 4 tires. He knows how good that truck has been.
Ken Schrader back in the 9th spot. And back in 11th is David Starr, Ray.
And Rick, I told you lots of people were running up and down pit road as that pit stop sequence began. David Starr is pitted in pit stall number 43, the first one off turn 4. He was ready to come to pit road, and his crew chief said, you've got no crew, you got to stay out. So Starr gets credited with leading the lap there, but he didn't get to come in when they wanted to because the crew was not in position.
Johnny Sauter all over the back bumper, the 15 of Johnny Benson.
Yes, he is. Got Johnny all heated up. Benson's doing a great job leading this race. Sauter wants part of it.
Remember, only 2 tires for Johnny Benson, 4 for Johnny Sauter. Right now, it looks like 4 is going to work out.
Johnny Sauter propels himself right by Johnny Benson. Here comes Brian Eichler on the outside trying to take 2nd away, and he will do it.
Meanwhile, Ron Hornaday drove by the 30 of Ty Bodine to take over the 4th position. Hornaday's coming.
That probably had something to do with Sauter saying, I better get this lead and try to get out of here because I know what's behind me.
43 laps remaining. Johnny Sauter now back in front. Brian Eichler, Johnny Benson, Ron Hornaday, and Todd Bodine are your top 5. Kenny Schrader again in 9th. Mike Skinner in the 10th spot. David Starr just outside in 11th. There's Schrader, Skinner, and Starr.
Eric Almirola, the 51, right in front of them.
Schrader had been up beside Almirola, couldn't complete the pass. Now it looks like
Skinner's going to move to the outside of Schrader.
He's going to get up on the outside of Schrader and try to bring David Starr along with him. So he didn't have.
Oh, we got smoke again from Ron Hornaday.
There's more smoke
as
out
he
of that
takes over the
33.
third position from Johnny Benson.
They're still having problems with that fender rubbing the left rear tire.
That metal is so tight there, it's really, really hard to stretch that metal. They had to physically stretch that metal. It doesn't look like they quite got it.
They put that bare bond, that tape on there to try to support it a little bit, but that didn't do the trick. And you know, if Ron hadn't blown a tire in Atlanta earlier this year, he might not be quite as worried about it, but it's certainly a concern. You can, as a driver, you can smell that smoke.
That's the same truck he had at Atlanta as well.
You smell all that smoke coming up in the cab, and darn, when you've blown a tire running 180 miles an hour down to the corner once this year, you darn sure don't want to do it again.
I'm not sure that smoke isn't worse.
Yeah, look at the body actually coming right down on the tire.
Yeah, as it hits those bumps, so you can see the body is actually inboard from the outside edge of the tire.
And I believe you're right, Phil. This damage is worse. You can see how much that fender is moving in and out on the tire. Great camera shot, guys. That just shows you exactly what's happening. The fender's flopping around on that left rear tire.
Meanwhile, he's going to chase down the 18 of Brian Eichler.
He's closing in on second. Now making the move to the inside. Hornaday trying to take the position away from Brian Eichler.
You can see him get his left sides down below the white line. He may have a tire rub, but that truck is awesome right now.
And I guarantee he just thought, now, Brian, you saw me coming. Why are you messing with me like this? I got a tire rubbing. You're getting on my nerves.
If I'm Brian and I see that tire rub, I don't want to be on the outside of Ron Hornaday.
That's a lot of smoke, a lot more smoke than we saw earlier.
Guys, they had time on pit road. Why would they not have maybe cut that opening out just a little bit more to ensure them not to do this?
They did everything they thought they needed to do to fix it. They added the bare bond, they pulled it out, and they thought they did everything they needed to do, but they certainly didn't. A cut will probably what will be next, Phil. When they come, if they get a chance to come in and fix it, they'll actually split that fender, like you said, Rick, and try to give it a little bit more room. But for their choices right there, they did everything they thought they needed to do, which included taping the fender.
See the crew chief, Doug George, get the binoculars out when the 33 truck came by to take a look at it. Meanwhile, Johnny Sauter has opened up about a 2.5 lead over Ron Hornaday right now.
Johnny Sauter's been strong. The 33 at the beginning of this race was the strongest truck on the 1.5 miles, and now Johnny Sauter is starting to flex his muscles, looking for his second win in the Camping World Truck Series. Adam Alexander.
It's been very interesting to listen to the conversation on the radio for Ron Hornaday. Hornaday very frustrating, has a lot of anxiety in his voice because he knows the tire is rubbing and he can see the smoke in his mirror. Doug George, the crew chief, has spent a lot of time on the binoculars looking. Because it's the left tire, he can see it when they come by. Doug seems to think the smoke has stopped, and the disadvantage here is because it's on that inside tire. Rick Corelli on the spotter stand really can't make a judgment from there because, one, it's on the inside of the truck, and two, he's too far away. Now, if history repeats itself, they will be fine. They have had a long run today, and the tire was able to withstand the rub. But as you know, you get inside of 40 laps and you're in the hunt, you're going to hear and feel everything. I think that's what's created all the anxiety for Hornaday.
That metal has really rolled up.
And, you know, he might be lucky here because, Phil, it seems to be hitting on the actual tread of the tire, and that's a lot thicker than the sidewall of the tire. You know, the tread has 3/16 maybe of an inch of rubber on it, and then it also has a belt around it that will help from the fender cutting the tire in that area. The sidewall is really thin. You get a fender on the sidewall, it'll blow out in a hurry.
Again, out front, though, Johnny Sauter.
Ron Hornaday was about 1/10 of a second faster that lap than Johnny Sauter. Plenty of time. We have 35 laps to go in this race.
And these two are by far the fastest trucks. They can run down around 31, 33.10, 33.20. The rest of the trucks are up in the 40s and 50s. So these are our two best trucks, and they've surfaced at the front here at the end.
And we talked about how many laps Ron Hornaday has led. Well, Johnny Sauter has led over 68 laps in this race. He's led the most laps and is looking to clinch that extra 5 bonus points for leading the most laps in the race.
We heard Johnny Sauter talking about that truck and how proud he was of his team. They said they'd been off a little bit over at Nashville, didn't even know he's in the race, and they went to work, came here, and now leading the race late in the going, holding off Hornaday, who's proven to be all day long the fastest truck.
About a 1/10.5 faster that time for Ron Hornaday than Johnny Sauter. He's down to about a second behind right now.
He's starting to pick up a little draft off of that truck of Johnny Sauter's too, Phil. That'll help him continue to pull up and gain on him. Johnny Sauter breaking a hole in the air and Hornaday being able to run right up in it.
I think that smoke has gotten better, don't you?
Yep, and there's the gap now between 1 and 2. Johnny Sauter in front and Ron Hornaday running in second. Here's a good battle for the third spot now as Brian Eichler's trying to hold off the 30 of Todd Bodine. Apparently they made a big swing at it, and that swing has worked for Bodine.
And Todd's running a different line. He's really looks like on purpose going way up high in the turns, and it's working for him. Look at that line, Phil.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Todd Bodine being the all-time mile-and-a-half winner here with 10 wins. Oh, ooh, look at Eichler get sideways. Now Todd's going to just drive to the inside.
Brian Eichler loose coming out of turn 2. Todd Bodine right by him on the backstretch. So Johnny Sauter has now about a second lead over Ron Hornaday. We want to do a top 10 drop back. We start with Adam Alexander.
Johnny Sauter out front, and he would love to win the day. The reason why, he celebrated his 32nd birthday yesterday. It would be a nice present for him to deliver the first victory in 2010 for a team that really felt like entering the year they would be a championship contender, but unfortunately they recorded only one top 10 finish in the first 4 races of the year. Right behind him, Ron Hornaday has the dominant truck, although the numbers haven't necessarily shown it because of that tire rub on the left rear. He has spent a great deal of time today driving through the field. He is gaining on Johnny Sauter and has an opportunity to go up and grab the lead with 30 laps to go. Ray?
And Adam, you talked to Todd Bodine about his success on the mile-and-a-halfs. It's been 21 races since his last victory, which came at Texas, and Todd is aware of that. They're also aware of Hornaday's situation. They've definitely been keeping an eye on that left rear. Hornaday a good bit, though, ahead of the number 30 right now, who runs in third. Adam?
You can't say enough about Brian Eichler in the 18. Started in the top 10 today. His run in the top 10 most of the day. The only time he was not there is when there was a miscue on pit road. It did not affect him at all. He maintained his composure, and that's why he finds himself in contention right now in the 4th position. Just behind him, another Toyota, Johnny Benson in the 5th position, making his 2nd start of the year in that truck. They played pit strategy just after the red flag, took 2 tires. He led a handful of laps, but unfortunately that strategy may take him out of an opportunity to win as he currently rides 5th. Ray?
And right behind JB is the number 31 of James Busher. I told you earlier that this is a brand new chassis. Number 11, and this is the prototype of what they're trying to build at Turner Motorsports. Expect the next 2 or 3 brand new chassis to be identical to this one. Busher has said he can't believe how smooth this truck is through the center of the corner. He really believes they're onto something as they continue to learn in a brand new race team. Adam?
Jason White currently occupies the 7th position, and we should not be surprised that White is running good here today. His first ever career top 10 came here at Kansas 1 year ago. And right behind White on track, the 51 of Eric Almirola. It has been a yo-yo day for him as well, but he finds himself in contention late in the race. He entered the day 2nd in Truck Series points, and he has an opportunity to really gain on Peters, who has struggled here this afternoon. Next in line, the 5 of Mike Skinner. We talked to him during the red flag. He said, I don't have a dog that can win here today. Of course, he won this race 1 year ago. A brand new race truck. They have tried some new technology, but unfortunately, they will have to go back to the drawing board after this event. And rounding out the top 10, Ken Schrader. We talked to him on our setup show earlier this afternoon, driving that 2 truck for Kevin Harvick. He said the boss reminded him, I'm leading the owner points going into this race. No doubt Schrader knew how much success that truck had with Harvick behind the wheel earlier this year, and I think the old man is doing him proud. He sits 10th as we have just over 30 laps to go.
The gap between 1 and 2 has now been closed to a half a second between Johnny Sauter and Ron Hornaday. Can Sauter hold off Hornaday? There's only 25 laps remaining at Kansas Speedway. The rain's gone away, the sun's shining down. Who will shine on the brightest at the end of this race? Tomorrow night, get your NASCAR fix with NASCAR Race Hub. Get the latest NASCAR news and information and hear straight from the drivers and crew chiefs when they stop by the garage to hang out and talk racing. NASCAR Race Hub presented by Hooters tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern only on Speed.
Jimmy McMurray's going to be in the hub this week. Shane Wilson, Clint Boyer's crew chief's going to be in the hub. And we're going to follow Tony Stewart doing a media ride around in Charlotte tomorrow. We're going to be there and cover that.
How about this battle? When we went away, it was just under a half a second. Now it's about a quarter of a second between the 13 and the 33. Hornaday is closing in on the lead.
Got some traffic up ahead, too. These guys have been negotiating lap traffic, seemingly lap after lap. Sauter got through it better the last lap. Looks like it's cost him a little bit of his lead this lap. We'll see Hornaday close in there.
His voice went up a little bit. Here he goes to the inside.
We got a battle for the lead.
Yes, Brent Raymer right in front of him. Hornaday will go to the flat if he needs to.
Hornaday on the bottom of the racetrack. The 13 of Johnny Sauter. Just inches away from Hornaday as they go through the tri-oval into 1 and 2. The battle continues for the lead.
Hornaday not quite able to clear him.
That was a good corner for Sauter around the top of the racetrack. Look at the momentum it gave him. Keeping that truck wound up how, but Hornaday can drive so hard down into the corner, gives him an advantage.
Jack Smith just in front of them in the 63.
I was talking
how that works.
Talking to some of these guys, and the challenge here at Kansas is getting the truck tight enough to drive down into the corner, Phil, but then be free enough when you try to exit the corner. It's a delicate balancing act.
Ooh, Jack Smith got really sideways right behind Hornaday.
Yeah, still trying to hang on to it. Looks like he's caught his breath now.
Looked like he almost ran into Hornaday and tried to turn the wheel hard to the left to keep from hitting Ron. And when Ron went by, it about spun him out.
Hornaday checks up, so he loses about 3 truck lengths on Johnny Sauter.
Getting down inside, 20 to go. Battle's heating up.
18 laps remaining from Kansas Speedway. Johnny Sauter still in front of Ron Hornaday. Sauter has been up front 83 laps now. Hornaday runs second. Todd Bodine is third. Brian Eichler fourth. Johnny Benson in the 5th position. Buscher, White, Almirola, Skinner, and Dillon are your top 10. Schrader has dropped out of that top 10 spot now to 11th.
This is interesting. Sauter went to the high side, held off Hornaday, and it looks like been able to put a little ground on him.
He's now actually the faster on the racetrack than Ron Hornaday is.
Another half-second gap between the two.
Now your truck, you know, Phil, the truck will handle, Ron's truck will handle a lot differently when he finally gets right up to Sauter. It'll take the little bit of that air off the nose. He used that air on the nose to hold those front tires in the road so you can drive it. And when that gets disrupted, like it is when he gets right up on Sauter, it changes the game a little bit. And Sauter found a line around the top of the racetrack where he was able to keep ahead of Hornaday.
That was a great turn 3 and 4 for Ron Hornaday. He gained a 1/10 of a second that lap. He put his left sides right like he is now, right below the white line, and gained about a 1/10 through 3 and 4. It was noticeable how much he gained on him.
And I think what you said sort of echoes what I talked about earlier. These guys are to get their trucks tight enough entering the corner where Ron can drive so deep in there like we see him do. It's really hard to keep the truck from not pushing the front end, not wanting to go up the hill, exiting the corner, costing him all his momentum down the straightaway. It seems as if both these trucks are pushing off the turns. The front end the front of the truck doesn't want to turn when they're exiting the corners. Watch them as they leave too. See how close they can stay down to that white line, or do they wash up? There goes Sauter up, and here comes Hornaday up.
Not quite as much as Sauter, although that was a good corner for Sauter that time.
Skinner to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Austin Dillon trying to take the spot away. He will get 9th from Mike Skinner. So Austin Dillon moving toward the front.
What a nice job by Austin Dillon. Remember, he was Aaron's lucky dog when the rain came out, so he had to restart this race from the very tail of the field, and he's made his way all the way up now to the 9th position.
This looks like Skinner's starting to fade a little bit. Schrader's got his eyes on him for that top 10 finishing spot. Last time by, Schrader was about a 10th faster than, you see Schrader right there hooked up on the back.
13 laps of racing to go.
There's the easy go on board by Ken Schrader. Started 12th, right now running 11th. Has his sights set him, as you mentioned, Mike Skinner, to try to get this truck in the top 10. Remember, this truck came into this race leading the owner points.
The battle for the lead is heating up once again. Johnny Sauter just in front of that 33 of Ron Hornaday, and now some more slower lap traffic will come into play.
What a corner by Hornaday. You saw Sauter go high. Hornaday pulls right to the rear bumper, moves to the inside.
Here comes Hornaday trying to make the pass as they go into turn 3. He's going to have to slow down now. Both of them sideways. Sauter keeps it going straight. Hornaday's going to save it. They stay 1 and 2.
I can't believe NASCAR didn't throw the caution because I thought they'd wreck, but NASCAR was smart, kept the caution flag in the flag stand, and we're still racing green. Those guys are at it.
Unbelievable.
Got to get back up to speed.
Oh, they're getting up to speed.
But they are nose to tail still, and now headed down the backstretch. 1 and 2. Sauter in front of Hornaday.
That was incredible.
They still have a huge lead over Todd Bodine right now, who runs third.
Bodine back 7.2 seconds from this duo, and this is what happened last time. They went around Norm Benning in the 57, and right up the racetrack when Hornaday, he caught the 13, and they slid sideways. And amazingly enough, they straightened it back out again.
I couldn't believe Sauter saved his truck, but I darn sure couldn't believe Hornaday did. He had those back tires smoking all the way down to the grass to keep it going in the right direction.
What do you think Todd Bodine was thinking while all this was happening? He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to win this thing.
He was so far behind, he never saw it. Watch this now.
Out. Look how close these two are. Hornaday to the inside. They've got to deal with this lap traffic. And the lap traffic is side by side, so Hornaday just tries to move up the hill.
I think he got sideways before he even got there. That's why he made contact with Johnny Sauter. He got sideways. He got sideways right there, had to chase his truck up the hill.
Look how sideways those guys are. They're wrecked.
They're crashed. They crashed.
Both of them are completely sideways through 3 and 4. Right along with Johnny Sauter. You're going to be facing the infield here in just a moment.
You could hear the contact.
Look at Hornaday.
And Sauter made contact with the outside wall. Hornaday's down on the flat.
Remember, try to put this in perspective. They're going over 150 miles an hour in the corners, and they're sideways.
I think that little scrimmage has affected Ron Hornaday's truck more than it did Johnny Sauter. Now Johnny's opened up almost a 1-second lead over Hornaday.
Well, you saw what Hornaday did to those rear tires in order to keep from wrecking? He had those tires spinning, going and keeping him out of that outside wall. It probably hurt those rear tires.
And Sauter did as well.
Not quite as much as Ron, though, and that might just be the difference, Phil. We're just talking, these trucks were so closely matched. The amount of smoke that came off Ron's was less than Johnny's, and so it didn't affect Johnny's truck as much.
0.8 of a second separating 1 and 2 when they cross the stripe. 8 laps of racing to go. Sauter in front of Hornaday.
That is the most amazing video of those two trucks crashing and still leading the race. They never hit anything. I can't believe they saved those trucks.
Hornaday lost another 0.3 of a second that lap, so I think that little incident right there probably is going to give Johnny Sauter the cushion he needs. I believe his truck now was not as affected as Ron Hornaday's was.
Can they hold off Todd Bodine? He has gained about a second on these two, but there's only 8 laps to go. Problems on pit road for
James Busher.
31 of James Busher.
He was up in the top 10
and just outside the top 5 with a great run going, and unfortunately probably had a tire going down.
So unfortunate for the 31 team and James Busher. A strong start to the day. Now only 13 trucks on the lead lap. Johnny Sauter with just 7 laps to go. When he comes by the stripe, it'll be 6 to go. He has a 1.7 second lead over Ron Hornaday. Let's look at their speed as they cross the line.
He has got him murdered right now, Phil. He's a half second faster than Hornaday right now.
3 miles an hour faster. Bodine not as fast as Johnny Sauter.
And 7.5 seconds behind. So if we don't get another caution flag, Todd Bodine is not going to be an issue for Johnny Sauter. Johnny Sauter trying to win his 2nd career Camping World Truck Series race. He won with this very truck at Las Vegas. Austin Dillon right now, the 3rd fastest truck on the racetrack, running in the 6th spot.
Schrader back up into the top 10. He's chasing Skinner for that 9th spot.
Yeah, he's caught Skinner all over the back of Skinner, so he's solidly in the top 10 with the run in Hornaday's truck. Hey, did you see how sideways those guys were?
Yes.
Can we freeze this and look at the shape that the winner of this race, the guy that's probably going to win this race, look, how's
45 degrees, 45 degrees side, both of them.
How are those two going to win the race?
Look at that. That is unbelievable. It's like they parked there.
That is great. Great video right there. Wow.
Look at that. Look at that shot.
Fantastic.
You talking about those rear tires spinning? Those were spinning right there.
That girl in the back of Johnny's truck saying, where's he going?
Johnny Sauter has a 3-second lead now over Hornaday. Bodine 8 seconds back. Johnny Sauter on cruise control with under 4 laps of racing to go, looking for his second ever win in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
You know, usually I'm pretty much into a green-white checkered. I think it spices things up. But after that down there, I don't think we could top it. There's no way anything cooler could happen than what those 2 trucks dealt with down there in turn 3 and 4.
3 laps to go. 4.5 miles from Kansas Speedway. Here's a battle for 7th and 8th. Jason White trying to stay in front of Eric Almirola.
Terrific run for Jason White. 2-tire strategy. He faded back a little bit, but he's still running in the 7th spot. Eric Almirola trying to continue his series of good runs this season.
There will be a little bit of a point shakeup today. Timothy Peters struggled, has had problems. He's running 7th or in the 23rd position, 6 laps down. Coming in, Eric Almirola was 82 points behind him. Now Todd Bodine has moved up to the 2nd spot in points, just 22 back from Timothy Peters, and Eric Almirola 34 points back. Here comes Eric Almirola trying to get by that 23 of Jason White.
I think Jason's 2 tires are starting to give up a little bit with him, and Eric's all over him. Can he get to the outside? That's what he's trying to do. Yes.
He's there. He's there. See if he can clear him by the time he gets to turn number 1. Mike Skinner right behind this group. That's also a battle for position.
And our leader gets the white flag. 1 lap of racing to go for Johnny Sauter. This battle continues. Skinner trying to get by Jason White as well. You see Ken Schrader in the background also trying to get by that 23.
It's a battle for 8th right there. Jason White and Mike Skinner.
Looks like Skinner's going to make it. Is he clearing? Yes, barely.
And there's Schrader in the easy go number 2. Johnny Sauter coming out of turn number 4. The final tri-oval. Sauter is looking for his 2nd win in the Truck Series.
That's how you win races.
That's how you drive a race truck.
You are the driving man.
Look at this battle here. 3 wide going into 3.
Kenny Schrader trying to take away the 8th position. He gets loose. Still battling through 3 and 4. Here comes the 81. That's David Starr.
It's a rough lap for Jason White. 7th to 11th.
And it's Schrader in 9th, Starr in 10th, Jason White 11th, Ricky Carmichael 12th.
And you saw a little bit there what Schrader was dealing with. That thing was loose. You know, every time he would make a move to the inside, the thing would get sideways, but he battled home to a 9th place finish. What were those guys saying to each other?
I think Ron Hornaday was saying, congratulations, man, you deserve that after that save. I mean, Ron Hornaday did not run into him intentionally. We saw him get loose when he got there, but what an incredible save by both those drivers.
I hope that's what he was saying. That was amazing.
What an incredible race. Let's go down to Ray.
And Johnny Sauter keeps saying on the radio, unbelievable, unbelievable. Joe, what was your thoughts when you saw him dead sideways in the middle of 3 and 4?
I just put my head down and I was like, oh, please get out of this. And I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Spectacular.
Tell me about the gelling of this team. In a short period of time, you guys have really pulled together something special.
It's amazing. We got a good group of guys here, and we started the season. We ended the season last year with a bang, and we started out the season here, and we got a little bit off. And this week we went to basics, and we brought old 23 back out, and she did it again for us. I love this truck.
I have a feeling 23 will be back when we go to Charlotte, guys.
Yeah, really impressive. And I'm telling you, you can't imagine what that's got to feel. You guys can, but it's extremely difficult to imagine. They're doing 150 miles an hour at least, and all of a sudden sideways, and neither one of them got turned around. They kept it going and got it straightened back out.
That was one of the finest pieces of driving by both of those guys, not just one of them.
Synchronized driving.
Incredible.
I wanted Pat Nass. If I had a yellow flag, that thing would have been flying out.
I mean, I'd have been ducking. If I'd have been a flag man, I'd have been ducking for that.
I want y'all to look at these 2 trucks and ask me if there's a good reason why we don't throw throw a yellow flag when you watch these two. Check it out. They're going down into turn 3. Lap traffic ahead. The lap traffic gets side by side.
Watch Hornaday get sideways. Right there. Has to chase it up the hill. He runs into Johnny. They completely spin out, or all but completely spin out.
Sauter hits the wall with the right rear of his truck. It straightens him back out.
Yeah, hitting the wall saved him. And watch, this is the difference in two fast trucks. Watch all the smoke off Ron's tires. You don't see that on Johnny's anymore. And that's just burning rubber off those Goodyear tires.
10th different race winner at Kansas. And Ron Hornaday's in there saying, can you believe what we just did? Good job to the crew. And let's go down to victory lane.
For the second time in his Camping World Truck Series career, Johnny Sauter celebrating in victory lane. And it doesn't get much more dramatic than this. You got a nice little shower, and I got to ask you about that save with about 12 laps to go. That was incredible.
That is. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I want to thank In-Country Television for coming on board with us here at Thorsport. Curb Records, Mike Curb, been a huge supporter of mine. Chevrolet, Goodyear Tires, everybody that makes this possible. PME, Mark Smith, motor was awesome. I can't wait to watch that on TV.
Yeah, let's watch it right now.
That was out of control.
Check this out. What are you thinking right about now when he slides up the track and gets into you?
I'm thinking that dirty bugger Hornaday got me again. But that was awesome. I mean, I just can't say enough about Duke and Ron Thorson for giving me this opportunity to drive this race car, and I want to thank God. I mean, that's a huge part of this, and that is awesome, isn't it?
Now watch, look at this picture. Look at this picture, and you tell me what you think now that you're standing in victory lane.
I don't know. That's maybe I'm the man. I don't know, but it's just cool. I mean, obviously our truck was good all weekend, and you see what they're getting ready to do back here? It was my birthday yesterday. They're getting ready to put a cake in my face.
Let's let that happen. A perfect way to celebrate. Johnny Sauter with an unbelievable save, and the end result, career victory number 2 at Kansas. Ray?
I'll tell you what, Adam, Ron Hornaday made a trip in there to talk to Johnny Sauter. I have to tell you, I've been watching you race for a long time. That's some of the finest driving I've ever seen in my life.
Nah, just good handling truck and a lot of side force. But I've been so tight, I can run him down, and I just get tight. And we got to that lap traffic, and I lost the nose, so I got out of the gas, the nose set, and turned sideways. And I said, look out, Johnny, here I come. But he knows what he had to do. He drove it in there and got us both loose, and I drove up into him. I'm just glad we saved it. And then trying to stay on the gas, I burned the right rear tire off. But I got to thank Longhorn, ECR, Ream, Georgia Boots.
Look here, watch this here, Ron. Look how far sideways both of you guys are.
Well, it don't turn no farther to the right than that. And then as you see the smoke, I just wore my right rear tire out right then, and I just couldn't catch him after that. But Kevin Delana, thanks. I gave that one away. But darn, what a cool day and awesome day to come back.
This shot right here looks to me like you guys are parked under a red flag getting ready to roll back down the track. I mean, that is dead sideways.
Well, the bad part is Johnny's giving me the number 1 right there, so he's a pretty good driver. You hate to do that, and Johnny's a hard racer, and we race hard together, but I'm glad both of us didn't wreck and to come out there. It was a good points day for the Longhorn Chevrolet, and man.
What'd you tell him in victory lane?
He was just laughing. I mean, that's the way you're supposed to race. That's what Truck Series is all about, and having fun. And I got to thank them fans for sticking it out with all that and the weather and everything. But this is why we come to Kansas City. This is so cool.
Congratulations. That is an awesome finish. That one's going to make some highlight reels throughout the week, guys.
Well, amazingly enough, after all of what has taken place today, Ron Hornaday said, I gave one away. Yeah.
He knew it was coming, didn't he?
He knew it was coming. He manned up and just let it happen. 4th win for Thor Sport. Johnny Sauter celebrating in victory lane. Let's look at our Royal Purple unofficial results. Timothy Peters, that's point standings. Timothy Peters, 22 in front of Todd Bodine. Eric Almirola, 30 back. Hornaday, just 97 points back.
Inside of 100 points, he was 178 out coming in.
What a battle for our championship, guys.
Johnny Sauter also has put himself in contention in 5th. Here's our Royal Purple unofficial results. Sauter with the win, his 2nd career win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Austin Dillon, career best finish. Ken Schrader, top 10. A couple of guys in the second 10. Tony Jackson Jr., a solid run. Look at Jack Smith. Both those guys had great runs today.
See Timothy Peters, our point leader, coming in with trouble. finishes in the 23rd position, loses a great bit of his point lead.
Matt Crafton, another guy up there in the points that had a bad day.
Jennifer Jo Cobb involved in 2 of the yellow flag situations. Rick Crawford also involved with problems. We go back trackside to Adam Alexander.
Ty Bodine jumps 1 spot in the standings, 22 points behind leader Timothy Peters. How in the world did you finish 3rd today?
I don't know. You know, we overcame a lot for sure. Speeding on pit road, a flat tire in the green, going a lap down. Cycled out, got our lap back, and you know, it was a good run. I mean, the junior made a lot of good calls, got the truck a lot better. It was still really loose the whole race. Got a little tight off at the end, but you know, that's our motto at Germain Races. We never give up. And speaking of Germain, I want to say hey to Bob and Obi at the Chicky Bar. Have a Chicky Punch for me.
They did not give up today, Rick.
Yeah, and another thing has stayed true at Kansas Speedway. Every winner has started inside the top 10. And today, Johnny Sauter started in the 3rd spot. He ends up in victory lane.
And oh, by the way, yet another different winner here at Kansas Speedway.
10 different
by
winners.
the way, still just one guy's won from the pole.
That's right.
That's right.
Ron Hornaday.
We have 10 different winners here. Our next race when we go to Dover, 10 different winners at that racetrack. That is Friday, May 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern when coverage starts. Chris Devoda and the setup will get us underway.
We saw a little bit of everything today, didn't we?
We sure did.
We saw the winners crash with 10 to go.
At least we thought they did. They were 45 degrees out of the proper line in turns 3 and 4. Both saved it. It was Johnny Sauter who went on to get the win at Kansas Speedway. Thanks for joining us here on Speed. In 2 weeks, the Camping World Truck Series will head to Dover, Delaware, home of the Monster Mile. Last year, Ron Hornaday had a rough showing, but will look to rebound and tame the monster. On May 14th, Chris Devoda hosts the setup that starts at 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed.